welcome to Texas Home Improvement, your total home improvement source. I am Jim Dutton here to help you out today. Same as always, 1-800-288-9227. That's 1-800-288-9227. What is different is we are at the Frisco Home Garden Show. We're out at the Star at the Ford Center. You can come on out, say hi. I mean, we're up here on the top. You pretty much have to go by us to go down on the floor. So, you know, if you're out and about looking for something to do today, there's a home show taking place, and it's free of charge to get in. And quite frankly, I parked in the garage across the road. That was free parking as well. So you can bring everybody out here, walk around the show, be inside where you're not freezing outside, and be able to see a lot of good vendors and stuff out here. Again, that's at the Star, the Frisco Home and Garden Show. But we're still here to take calls, answer questions. 1-800-288-9227. That's 1-800-288-9227. Nate, question for you. If I tell them to go to the website, can they get to this video? I did not ask anybody. Yes? Okay. Huh? Go to the website and then get. All right, so we're doing something a little different today. We are broadcasting video as well. And if you go to thipro.com, there's a link where you can watch what we're doing at the same time that we're doing it. You can also notice that my throat is bad today. I've got a upper respiratory infection, and so I'm gonna be hacking a little bit today on and off, but I'll typically try to shut the mic off when I do that. But nonetheless, we're here to take calls and answer questions. 1-800-288-9227. I want to welcome Matt to the show with On Time Experts. And Matt, how are you today?
Doing great, Jim. How you doing?
Well, I'm living. I'm doing good. Look, we're going to do something a little different. I mean, okay. I was just telling the audience, and that if they go to thipro.com, there's a link where they can watch us on. This is on YouTube, right? Yeah, where they can watch us on YouTube live.
Okay.
So we're going to handle things a little bit different because it's not just all radio audio today. We're going to have some visual as well. And you were kind enough to bring some filters and stuff along so we can talk some air conditioning, or in today's case, some heating again.
Yeah.
What a wild ride this weather has been.
Just up and down. We were at 90 plus last weekend.
Yes.
It's been kind of a warm week, and then now we're back in furnace weather.
Well, I don't know how it affects everybody else, but that yellow haze that's been out there has definitely caught me, along with the cycling of the weather.
Yeah.
It can also catch your HVAC system if you're not careful.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're cycling it again. It's working constantly right now. Last weekend, all through this week, you know, your AC's on, it's kicking on. Right now, your furnace in many cases was kicking on this morning, you know. I think probably we'll be seeing some of that tomorrow. I think going into next week, our AC's cycling right back on again. So just back and forth, you know.
So I'm gonna bring up something from last week's show.
Yeah.
For everybody who missed the special that we ran last week.
Yeah.
It's not too late to get your system checked.
No.
It's just too late to take advantage of the special.
Yeah.
So if they want to get their system checked out and cleaned up, made ready for this summer, what's the number that they should be calling?
469-225-0318. That's 469-225-0318. That is a number specifically for the THI listener, and in this case, the viewer as well, depending on how you're on the show with us. So
why don't you talk about those filters there a second, and I'm gonna let you talk into the camera while you're talking on this, because I got to plug in something I'm running on battery right now.
Do it. I mean, we were talking about filtration, and the reason I brought the filters on is that is actually something a homeowner can do in their house, right? But I thought I might educate the homeowner a little bit, or any viewer, any listener that's out there. So first and foremost, you're going to see a filter like this. This is what most homeowners are going to change in their house, maybe every 3 months. Some people wait 6 months. A lot of people go to Home Depot, Lowe's.
6 is a little much for that filter, though, isn't it?
Well, I was going to get to that too.
Okay.
They wait way too long.
Yeah.
Right? But a lot of times we think we're doing the right thing and we're buying these filters from top shelf, is what I call, either at Home Depot, Lowe's, maybe Walmart, and we're buying expensive filters because they market themselves for allergy relief and for super clean air, right? But I wanted to point out that these actually, although they're marketed that way, this is not what you should be using. So first off, the tighter the filter, the more expensive the filter that you get, usually the better it is at decreasing the airflow in your system and actually making your system struggle a lot more than a lot of people realize it has to. And with the life of a system, increasing the longevity of your system, it's really important that you allow for as much airflow as possible. So I do want to throw that out there, that although we think we're doing the right thing, in many cases we could actually be doing more harm than we realize.
Well, and go ahead and explain what happens when we make the system have to draw harder than it needs to. I mean,
yeah. Well, these things are built with airflow, right? And essentially what happens is the more filtration that you put in there, really what I like to say, it's almost like you're running a race and breathing through a straw, because you've cut so much airflow that your system is literally just sucking. Some homeowners might even experience, sometimes you go to change the filter and that filter has actually been pulled in.
Oh yeah.
Right?
And ripped even.
And ripped, right? And that'll just tell you right there what's happening with your system. Your system is really just sucking the air out like a vacuum, taking everything that it can, right? And so it's not good for the longevity of the system and even for breakdowns.
Well, it's going to cost you money on your electric bill.
Yep.
It's going to start drawing air from somewhere else, which is not filtered air, which is going to dirty up the system.
That's right.
It just creates a mess.
Yeah. So I brought another filter. These are what On Time Experts sells, and again, there's a reason it's orange. That's our primary color there. But you'll see this one's a little different. It's kind of a foamy type of material. It's a, I don't know, a plastic cloth almost, but it's oversized. It's got a wire frame in there, so it really fills the space out. You talked about air being sucked in from other places. Because it's oversized, that tends to limit this filter from pulling things in from other places. And then lastly, its material makes it real high pass through. So although it catches a lot of stuff, it still allows for max airflow through the system.
Okay, and that wire cage keeps it stiff enough to...
And even some reinforcements running through the middle of that. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then for customers that really want to go after cleaner air, we call this the Air Ranger. It's basically an electrostatic air filter. This fits right in. We got multiple sizes of this to fit any type of filter size that a customer has in their home. And this thing actually statically charges.
Snap, crackle, pop.
And it attracts the dirt right to it. I've got one of these in my home. I would never operate a system without. It's noticeably different in my home.
Yeah, my parents had one of those for years, and it always worked great. I mean, when you have this type of system, you're not having to buy stuff all the time.
That's right.
For buying filters all the time.
Yeah.
So
that's right. You get 3 to 6 months, just kind of depending on the application and whether you got pets with long hair, things like that in the house. But this is going to be an option for somebody who isn't just concerned with the system being clean, but also that the air in your house is clean. This will take things down to 0.3 micron, or 3 microns, sorry, which is essentially like, we always say if you put a piece of hair up against a wall and you were to cut that strand of hair into 100 additional strands, that 1/100th would not pass through that filter.
wow.
Yeah, so that really pulls everything out.
So those are the ones that homeowners basically can take care of themselves and be changing, cleaning, doing whatever. How about that media filter up in the attic?
Oh, the big 4-inch and 6-inch?
Yeah.
Those are great filters as well. I did not bring one of those with me today. Those have a lot of material as well. And although I started out by saying, hey, you got to be careful because that can lead to airflow problems, those big 4-inch, those pleated ones, those actually have so much surface area that it doesn't create pressure drop. A lot of homeowners will find that those are good for about 6 months as well. So, you know, you're not changing them as much, and they do a good job for you. They're a little more expensive, but they're worth it.
Oh yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah.
So we're going to get ready to take a quick break here.
Yeah.
Again, give the number for on-time experts.
Absolutely. It's 469-225-0318. That's 469-225-0318. And give us a call. We'd love to hear from you.
And again, if you have a home improvement question, or we're going to do one more segment here. If you got a question on your air conditioning system, pick up the phone and give us a call, 1-800-288-9227. We'll be back in just a moment with Matt. But in the meantime, let's talk about Lone Star Masonry Repair. In fact, we're going to talk with JR here in a few minutes as well. If you're having masonry issues, you got cracks in the brick veneer, you got archways that are falling, you got a retaining wall that's got an issue, give Lone Star Masonry Repair a call, 817-709-6834. That's 817-709-6834.
Folks hire guys like us. Staining and sealing like a pro can be a real headache.
And they're right, unless they know our secret.
We have a secret?
Oh, yeah.
Ready Seal Stain and Sealer for wood is the professional's product of choice. The one-of-a-kind formula means no laps, streaks, or back brushing required.
Hey, am I doing this right?
Doesn't matter, son. Stuff's goof-proof.
Ready Seal. Look for the goof-proof label and get it right on your first try.
Got any other secrets?
Oh, we're just getting started.
Electrical work for her, and she just loves these guys. I don't have to do a thing. She makes the call, she has them out, they get it taken care of for her. That makes them great for me as well. You need some electrical service at your home, call Arrow Electric Services at 817-538-8959. That's 817-538-8959.
In a controlled demonstration at a fire training facility, 4 sets were constructed and clad with different exterior siding materials: vinyl, cedar, engineered wood, and hardy fiber cement. After 10 minutes of direct flame exposure, vinyl, cedar, and engineered wood eventually succumbed to the fire, while the hardy fiber cement siding did not combust or contribute to the spread of the flames.
That's amazing.
Time for a commercial for On-Time Experts. Matt?
Yeah.
I always like to make people do their own commercial, so you get to take care of this commercial for On-Time Experts.
Awesome. Hey, On Time Experts offers DFW homeowners the only maintenance with cleaning really available in this marketplace. It's part of the process. We not only clean your outdoor unit, but we actually pull and clean that blower motor, something that's working all year long, just to make sure that we can reduce electrical bills. We increase that efficiency. This cleaning will help with longevity of your system, and this cleaning will also lead to less breakdowns, so greater peace of mind. We also offer free second opinions. If anybody out there has been told that they need to replace because it's old, or maybe they just want a second opinion, we offer those as well. And then we offer same-day service. Got a lot to offer.
You got a lot. Oops. You got.
There you go.
It helps if I pull the mic down. You got a lot into that.
I did get a lot into
Everything except the phone number. So we got to put the phone number back. All right, you hear me say all the time, tools make the job. Let me show you one of the coolest tools I've seen in a long time. And I didn't actually pick this out. I came over to put some trim up for my son, and he had this tool already. Now, I'm used to the old-fashioned way. Find the stud and hear the dog. With this thing, you just push the little button down, and as you come across, it lights up and shows you exactly where the stud is. We got a double stud here. Go on across. This area had some extra work done, and you can see where every single board is without having to do any major stuff. These are great. You pick it up at the local box store. This one is called Franklin Sensors. Want more videos like these? Make sure to hit that subscribe button. This Home Improvement, your total home improvement source. 1-800-288-9227. I got Matt with me from On Time Experts, which we forgot to give the phone number at 469-225-0318 if you need some services taken care of. But Matt, I guess we had some questions as far as the electric static.
Yeah, I think we got some people calling in and they're a little curious about this. I think one of the big questions that we're getting from the callers is how do we clean these? How do we change them? So first off, every 3 to 6 months, you're gonna go up into your attic or into your closet, depending on where it is. And we teach the homeowners how to do this, by the way. You're gonna go ahead and lift this up and you're really just gonna change out this internal media. And then we're gonna put it back in and we're gonna plug it back in. It is low voltage, so you're not gonna shock yourself. But I will say as well, for our customers here in DFW, we do this as part of our maintenance as well. So if our customers invest in an Air Ranger and one of these electrostatic filters, then we do this as part of our maintenance. We're gonna take it out, we're gonna clean it for you and get it ready till the next maintenance. That's really what it's all about.
You know, I think a lot of times homeowners underestimate the value in these maintenance programs that some companies offer. A lot of companies offer, bluntly, crap for a maintenance program. But like the maintenance service that you guys do, there's a lot of perks with that.
Yeah, I mean, the maintenance service, so like a membership with On Time Experts, you're gonna get 2 maintenance visits a year for your HVAC system. And that's gonna include, again, cleanings both times of the year. It's gonna include filter changes if you need it. We're also gonna give you a plumbing safety visit where we send our plumbers out and they're gonna really do a plumbing maintenance. That way you understand what's going on in your home, whether it comes to gas lines, plumbing, sewer, whatever it is. Because if you don't find it out now, you're gonna find out when it's the most inconvenient. We waive all diagnostic fees for our members. So if they call us, even on a Saturday, even on a holiday, we never charge them a dime to run a truck out to their house. That's part of it. And then we give discounts on repair. We give discounts when it's time to replace. There's a lot of great benefit with the On Time Experts membership.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So let's, I know last weekend we went through a little bit what you guys do when you do your twice a year cleaning of the system. You mind going through that just real quick?
Yeah, I mean, first...
Because right now we got all kinds of crap falling out of the sky and getting into these systems.
We do, and again, like we talked about, they're cycling hot and cold, hot and cold. I mean, the big thing that separates On Time Experts from all of our competitors is that we focus on cleaning. A lot of other companies are just gonna come in and they're gonna look for something that's wrong. But if they're not cleaning it, the question is it really a maintenance? You know, so we're gonna spend time cleaning that outdoor unit. I think a lot of companies offer that, but you're gonna see that we take it apart to a much larger degree than a lot of the other companies. Spray it down from the inside out, so we're not just packing dirt back into that outdoor unit. And then again, as well, we pull and clean that blower motor, that air mover, whether you got hot air or you got cold air coming out of your vents, it's because of that blower wheel. We gotta keep it clean, because the dirt, dust, and debris is what chokes up a system. What makes parts overheat and leak oil, and that ultimately leads to the breakdowns. So much bigger cleaning.
So one of the other things, and it's rarely that I bring this up, that I think sets On Time Experts apart from other companies, your trucks are rigged to go.
Yeah.
A lot of AC companies carry almost nothing on the truck.
Yep.
So if you guys are going out on a system out, you a lot of times have what they need to get that system up and running already.
There's a good chance that we're going to have anything we need to help a customer on the truck. There are going to be instances maybe when the system is older and maybe there's a specific proprietary part, you know, from from Carrier or Lennox, but in those cases, there's always a parts house nearby, and we've got relationships with all of them, so it's usually takes just a little more time, but we can get that done same day as well. But our trucks are well stocked with anything you need to get your system back up and running in most cases.
Well, again, whether you got a system outage, you want to get onto the routine maintenance list, somebody's telling you you need a new system, you guys can help them out.
Call us, we'll give you a hand.
Give them a call at 469-225-0318, and they'll come out and help you out. We only got about a minute left before we got to go to break or so. But you know, one of the things we didn't talk about is your techs aren't there to sell.
No. In fact, another thing that separates us from a lot of other companies around here is that our techs do not sell. A lot of times, especially when you got an older system, companies will be sending in actually one of their best salesmen in the guise of a technician, but really their whole intention is to sell you a new system. But our techs are there for the maintenance. If a customer happens to be interested or expresses a desire to get some pricing, that's a whole other phone call to somebody else that's got to come out and give the customer that information.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, I appreciate you coming out on Saturday and helping us out here, and I appreciate you doing as much talking as you did. As you can tell, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of talking today.
That's all right. My pleasure.
Again, if you guys need to call On Time Experts, it's 469-225-0318. That's 469-225-0318. We'll be right back after news, traffic, and weather. You are looking to get a new driveway.
All right, so what we're going to be doing here is we're building a casing.
You want to extend
and
your
we haven't
driveway,
nailed
your
anything
patio,
together. We just
your
got our
sidewalk.
boards cut
Call Sam,
and ready to go.
the concrete man. They know how to do concrete and do it right. You know, you've heard me talk about it for years. Don't use wire mesh, use rebar. Sam, the concrete man, uses rebar. He also, some of them, in some cases, they'll even add fiber reinforcement in. Love that stuff. I've been using that since way back in the late 70s. But beyond just being able to handle all that for you, they can do stamped concrete and other patterns and stuff to give you that look that you're going for. It's Sam, the concrete man, for all your concrete needs. 214-245-4515. That's 214-245-4515.
All right, so what we're going to be doing here is we're building a casing, and we haven't nailed anything together. We just got our boards cut and ready to go. We've got our door, and I've made little tick marks as far as where the hinges are going to go. And we're going to use a router. Now, Adam, you want to go ahead and place this is going to be a router guide. And basically what we'll do is where you see the little tick mark on the end, we'll line it up with that, clamp it into place, and we'll be able to just drop the router in there and take all the wood out we need for the hinge. On the side over here, these are depth gauges to set for your different size hinges. We're just using a standard 4-inch hinge. When the hinge is installed, there's what you're going to be looking at. So we're going to go ahead and get the router ready, and I'm going to let Adam router it out. All right, we've set it where the hinges will be at 7, 36, and 65 inches top of each hinge. All right, Adam, go ahead. Now you can do this same thing using hammer and chisel, but as we always talk about, tools make the job, and the tools sure made this job easy. There you go. One non-pre-hung door installed.
Want more videos like these? Make sure to hit that subscribe button. It'll keep you informed. looking for a roofing contractor, Arrington Roofing can help you with all your roofing needs. Whether you need a new roof, a roof repair, you're looking at maybe a fortified roof to handle the wind loads we get. Hail season is upon us, and Arrington Roofing can help you with a hail-resistant shingle as well. Call Arrington Roofing, 214-698-8443, 214-698-8443.
Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino and you'll never have to paint your home or building again. Rhino Shield is formulated specifically for our unique climate here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Rhino Shield resists chipping, cracking, flaking, or peeling, and is backed by our extraordinary 25-year warranty. So stop throwing your money away on ordinary paint. Call now for a free estimate and receive 20% off the regular price.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Shop can help you take care of keeping all those pesky, crawly, creepy things out of your home. And let's face it, at this time of year, there's a lot of them running around out there. And you know, whether you want to do it yourself or you want to have a service come out and do it, the Pest Shop can take care of it for you. They will sell you the same services that the professionals use, you know, the same chemicals and everything. Or again, they can come out and take care of it for you. But they also have stuff for taking care of the rodents, for taking care of your grass, to keep the weeds and all that kind of stuff. So it's all available from the Pest Shop. 972-519-0355. That's 972-519-0355. At Due West Foundation Repair, we like to take care of things and keep them around for a long time. That's the reason we offer you a lifetime warranty, because we know you want to take care of your home the same way we've taken care of this old truck over the years. When you want the best, call Due West. Your total home improvement source, 1-800-288-9227. That's 1-800-288-9227. Again, any home improvement question you have, pick up the phone, give me a call, and I'll see what I can do to help you out here on Texas Home Improvement. Also, don't forget, we are live today from the Frisco Home Garden Show. It's at the Ford Center, the Star, and it's free admission. If you look around, there's free parking even. So why not come on out, walk through, take a look at all the different exhibits that are out here. You can come up and see what we're doing. And you know what? If you don't want to get in the car and go out, go to our website, thipro.com. We're doing something different today. We are out actually broadcasting video at the same time that we're doing the radio show. And you can see it by going to thipro.com. So give you two ways to, and you know, if you're looking at it at thipro.com, you're going to see what happens when we're not on the air talking. And today you're going to see me hacking up a lung, but that's a different story. Right now, I want to welcome JR to the show. And JR is Lone Star Masonry Repair. Yes. And JR, how are you today?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing good. So, you know, most people, I won't say all houses, but most houses have some brick on them.
Yes.
And everybody looks at brick as though, oh, wow, this is permanent. I'll never have to do anything with it. That's not the case.
Yeah, they got to be doing maintenance yearly, you know, just to keep up with it, you know. Obviously, not all the houses aren't going to settle every year, but you want to check on it because of the dry and weather. It'll make them settle. Yeah,
and then you can get hairline cracks running through your mortar lines and different things like that. And when that happens, you want to get it taken care of, tuck pointed and dress it up. And it's critical to have somebody who knows what they're doing, because it can really look bad.
Yes, definitely.
I'm not going to bite you if you want to come over this way a little bit.
Also, if you just leave them alone, through time, they're going to keep on getting wider.
Yeah.
At first, I brought a sample. At first, they'll look like a small hairline crack.
Right.
But through the years, as the house moves, it's just going to widen.
Yep. Yep.
And the brick will break, you know. And most of the time you don't see it until it moves again, and then the brick are broken. So what we'll do is we'll go in here, cut the mortar out. You know, most of the time it's falling out like it is right there, but we'll cut the mortar out on the cracks, and then we'll remove the broken bricks, and then replace it. If there's original brick to be had, we'll go source it. But a lot of times the house is already, their brick is already discontinued, and then we'll have to just go find something that's really close to it.
So I would imagine that dealing with the brick cracks like that are probably one of the more common things, but the places where people don't think about it too often is like the arches and stuff. I mean,
exactly.
Those are bad.
Yeah. Once they start shifting, they're hollow inside, and if they do it properly, they'll reinforce it from the inside with steel, but nobody goes through that trouble. And then if they're laying them not properly arched, when they make them too flat, then they wind up failing if there's any movement on there.
Yeah.
So what we have to do is we'll have to open it up and then put some rebar and concrete, so make an inner support for it, and that's going to adhere to the brick itself, and then it's going to keep it up. Even if the house shifts again, you might get hairline cracks on the mortar, but it's not going to come down.
So again, you're dealing with the mortar and all the stuff. What's the key thing to matching those mortar colors?
Well, every house's mortar is going to be different.
Right.
Even if it's in the same neighborhood, obviously they're not doing it at the exact same time, so they're going to fade depending on where the sun hits it, so it's going to fade differently. So what we have to do is we'll have to go to each individual house and then make the mortar match to that house by blending the gray and the white masonry cement, so we can be able to get the shade of that house. And since it's been there, most of them for up to like 20 years or more, we're just going to have to be adding some mortar dyes to it to be able to get to that right tone. We just take our time until we know that we got the color. We'll dry it, and then we'll do the repair. That way it doesn't look like it's even been repaired.
Even the sand makes a difference. Though.
Exactly. The older houses tend to have coarse sand, so we have to make sure that we're using the right sand, because if you use a newer sand, meaning it's fine, it'll stand out. Even if you have the right color to it, you'll see the difference between a coarse sand and a smooth sand, and also the other way around. So it's not just the color, it's also the texture and the way it's tooled. Some older houses, they have a rake joint where it makes it look like a square instead of this concave. So we got to match the way that it was tooled originally.
That makes you an artist.
Yes, we have to make it exactly to where that area that we're working on.
So, I mean, a lot of times people think that they can just go out and, oh, I saw at Home Depot, I can get this caulking that is for brick mortar.
Yeah, it's just going to seal it. That's all it's going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to stand out like a sore thumb.
It does.
Even if you had a gray mortared house, it's still going to stand out. And they don't have that for a white mortar house. You know, they're all gray.
Yeah.
You know, and if you were to find a white one, it's going to be brilliant white, which is still going to stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
So that could be a temporary fix, because if you're having water issues and then you can't have us out there right away, I mean, by all means, put a little bit on there just to keep the water from coming out. But at that point, you could just use a regular clear caulking or something just to temporarily close it. You know?
I would think clear wouldn't stick out as bad as some of those caulkings.
Exactly.
do.
And that's what I tell people. They're like, because they call us right when it's happened, and
Right.
then we can't get to them. So they're like, what can I do right now? I was like, well, put some clear caulking under that way you don't make a mess. And then we'll come out and then repair it properly. But if you're going to do that, just get it clear, and that's temporary. That thing's not going to last a few months, you know. So.
Well, Sam, JR, I got to take a quick break here. When we come back, I want to talk about the German schmear, because that's something a lot of people don't even think about as an option to dress up the home.
Yes.
Okay. We got to take a quick break, but if you need to give Lone Star Masonry Repair a call, 817-709-6834. Let's talk real quick, though, about Shelton Construction, because if you're thinking about remodeling or building a new home, you want an outdoor kitchen, whatever type of construction you're thinking about doing around your house, Shelton Construction can absolutely help you out. I've had them out to my house several times. They do great work. They helped finish up on my son's house when he had some health issues, and I'm telling you, Shelton Construction knows what they're doing. 817-423-7302. That's 817-423-7302.
At Milo Insulation, we can help your home's efficiency with all-natural Milex, an innovative new green insulation with patented thermal puff technology and lower production costs than any other products on the market. Milex is produced without any toxic chemicals and is half the cost of spray foam insulation. Milex is cost-effective, flame-resistant, and hypoallergenic. It's also mold-resistant and naturally repels insects and other pests. And it cuts your heating and cooling bills by as much as 50%. Give us a call for your free attic inspection.
Need some attic insulation, call Milo Insulation. They use an all-natural insulation that's made of sorghum. It looks like packing peanuts because originally that's actually what it was going to be, and they discovered that it did such a great job insulating, they started making it for insulation. Anyways, Milo Insulation will come out, show you the product, show you how great it works. Unlike other blown-in insulations, it doesn't settle over time. You don't have to add more insulation. So it's one time and done. 940-331-6456. That's 940-331-6456 for Milo Insulation.
If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Tools make the job. One of the things we got to do here is get the flooring under the door frame. This little tool makes the job. I'm gonna let Adam do the cutting here. Now you lay a piece of the your new floor down, and that acts as your height set. And that handle is offset on that saw so that you can then cut the base off or the bottom off of your frame. And it's kind of a funny saw. It's got teeth on both sides, left hand, right hand, depending on what you're cutting. Now, as difficult as that seems, that's a whole lot easier than trying to cut it with a regular hand saw or any other type of saw.
Welcome back to Texas Home Improvement, your total home improvement source. 1-800-288-9227. That's 1-800-288-9227. And as we said, we're trying something new today. You can go to our website, thipro.com, and actually see what we're doing out at the Frisco Home and Garden Show. This is taking place at the Ford Center, the Star, and look, it's free to get in. Why not come out and say hi? Well, you know, there's a lot of great booths. You can see it if you go to thipro.com. You can see it in our background here, and you can come out, talk to different people, and decide who you want to have out to your house and who you don't want to have out to your house. Now, right now, I've got somebody here with me that you absolutely, if you're having cracks in your brick veneer and stuff, you would want to have out. And that's JR from Lone Star Masonry Repair. And JR, first of all, let me give the phone number again. Your phone number, 817-709-6834. And, you know, we talk a lot about fixing brick cracks and things like that, but I mean, you had me out to one of your projects one time that you literally covered the whole brick because they didn't like the color of the brick. You can do a lot of different things other than just crack repair.
Yes, a lot of times if the customers don't like the brick at all, because some of these brick are like pink and some outrageous colors from the past, so they want.
But it was so popular in the 70s.
Exactly. So they just want to cover it completely, but they don't want to paint it because the paint will peel off of it.
Right.
So what we do is we'll come over there and put a slurry on it, which is actual masonry. It's not like stucco where you're going to get it all smooth, and they just want that old world look, you know. And that's when they're wanting to cover the whole thing. Like stone has to be, you can't like really smear stone. You have to cover it completely. But on brick, you could do a German smear, which covers all of the mortar joints and then smears into the brick.
Okay.
Because they still want to be able to see some of that brick, the ones that aren't pink. They're usually a color that they just want to update the house. So they go with the classic German smear. And every single one of them is custom to what that homeowner wants. We have different examples of the work that we've done, but every single one of those was specific to that homeowner. It doesn't mean that we're going to tell you how your house should look. You're going to tell us how you want it, and we'll make sure that we accomplish it.
And that's not something, I mean, I was shocked at what you were able to do that for cost-wise. Yes. I mean, you would think it costs a small fortune, but it really wasn't that bad.
No. What we do is we're always making sure that we have real competitive pricing, you know. Obviously, we don't compete with a guy that's working out of his truck. You know, he probably doesn't have insurance. He definitely doesn't have any advertising or anything going on.
Well, and he's not a contractor. Because if you don't have an office, you don't have a brick and mortar place, you don't have real business expenses yet.
Exactly. And good luck in finding them in a few years.
Yes.
You know, so we've been around, and we have plenty of references and examples of the work that we've done. So, and we have all of the addresses where people could go just drive by and take a look at it. A lot of customers, they're willing to let people come onto their property and take a closer up look at it. But just from the road, you're able to see what is going on with it, you know?
Sure. So, one of the things that came out, I don't know, I guess it was in about the 90s, that was so popular for everybody, and it still is these concrete mailboxes. And honestly, on some of the old ones, I'm starting to see a lot of issues with them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, on the mailbox, you have to just tear them down and rebuild, you know. Just some people are like really attached to it. I mean, it could be repaired, but it's just going to be a temporary fix. You can't. I mean, the only other way that I would think it could be done is if it literally was to be slurried, you know, where you wind up covering up everything.
Well, again, it goes back to maintenance.
Yes.
We look at brick and mortar and we say it's gonna last forever, and unless you do something with it, it's not. And like these mailboxes out there, they're small, they're exposed to the sun and rain constantly. Moisture soaks in, then we get a freeze, and it wreaks havoc on that little mortar and brick.
Well, just imagine that, but apply it to your chimney. Most chimneys are wearing out like that because they're exposed to the weather, and it's even rougher up on top of your house, you know, with that wind. And then when it snows, once these cracks happen like with this, it's going to get inside of it and freezes, and it just expands and then winds up flaking out of it. And
well,
they call us when water starts to come in, you know.
Well, they didn't need you before that.
Exactly, exactly. But I mean, my point is kind of just take a look up, just take a glance at it. If you see something, give us a call, because
if you got a fireplace and there's not a cap on the top of that chimney, you got a problem coming, because that mortar up there is dried out, it's cracked, it's going to be an issue. Give Lone Star Masonry Repair a call, 817-709-6600. 6834. And JR, thank you for stopping in today.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, have a good day.
Hey, let's talk real quick about Due West, my company. Look, we talked about cracks. You know, if your cracks are getting wide, you may need foundation repair. One quick second here. You need a company that you can trust, and that's Due West Foundation Repair. Nate, quit laughing at me. I'm doing the best I can with this cough today. Look, foundation problems don't go away by themselves. They're typically caused by a moisture change. Whether a tree caused it, the weather caused it, something has caused it. Due West not only addresses what the results of it are, but will also help take care of what caused the problem as well. When you want the best, call Due West at 972-406-0912. That's 972-406-0912.
At DFW Improved, our philosophy is simple. We create custom spaces to make each client's home their own.
We've been renovating homes in DFW for 14 years, and we've built our reputation on achieving total client satisfaction. Our staff helps you take your project from conception to design, all the way through to completion.
So whether you're looking to update your bathroom or your entire home, give us a call today or visit our website to be inspired to fall in love with your home again.
If you live on the northeast side of town, like out here in Frisco where we're at today, and you're looking at doing some remodeling in addition, some updating of your home, call DFW Improved. In fact, they got a booth out here at the Frisco Home and Garden Show where you can come out and talk to them before you have them out to your house. But I can tell you, I've done several projects with them. These guys do beautiful work. They're going to take great care of you. So call them, 972-591-0777. Tell them what you're wanting to do. They will come out and help get you taken care of. Again, it's DFW Improved. And if you want to talk to them in person, come on out to the Frisco Home and Garden Show. It's out at the Star, the Ford Center.
Whether you build homes for a living or want the best for your own home, choose siding you're proud to stand by. Hardy Siding is ready to withstand storms, holds its own against heavy winds and debris, and even helps homes stand up to fire, leaving a lasting impression. James Hardy, what the best are made of.
Welcome back to Texas Home Improvement, your total home improvement source. 1-800-288-9227. Dan in Weatherford, how can I help you today? Hello, Dan. Oh, I think Dan might have got cold feet or something didn't connect right, but we'll continue on. We are broadcasting today from the Frisco Home and Garden Show. It's out at the Ford Center at the Star, and it is free to get in. You can find parking around. A lot of it's free parking out here as well, so you can come out here and not have to spend a nickel to come out here. We are also doing our show live on video today. If you go to thipro.com, you're going to see just down on the home page there that we're broadcasting live from the Frisco. If you click on that, you'll be able to see what we're doing out here and what happens behind the scenes. So, with all that being said, make the trip out. Come by, say hi. I'm going to be here all afternoon. So, but if you do have a question, 1-800-288-9227. That's 1-800-288-9227. We're getting ready to take a break for news, traffic, weather here on WBAP. Then we'll be back with another hour of Texas Home Improvement. So don't go anywhere. And don't forget, thipro.com. It's there to help you out 24/7.
Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino and you'll never have to paint your home or building again. Rhino Shield is formulated specifically for our unique climate here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Rhino Shield resists chipping, cracking, flaking, or peeling and is backed by our extraordinary 25-year warranty. So stop throwing your money away on ordinary paint. Call now for a free estimate and receive 20% off the regular price.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Foundation repair shouldn't be left to the inexperienced. At Due West, we've been keeping Texans on a solid foundation with our tried and true methods since 1978. So if you're noticing cracks in your walls and doors that are sticking, call the best. Call Due West. Hey, welcome back to Texas Home Improvement, your total home improvement source. So let me answer an email question here real quick. I got a question from Sam out on Galveston Island, and I need insulation in my home. I'm getting cold drafts. Well, Sam, that's real easy. Call USA Insulation. They're not going to have to tear out the sheetrock. They're not going to have to tear off siding. They'll drill small holes from the outside. If it was a brick home, it'd just be right in the mortar lines. They inject this non-expansive foam. It seals all the air gaps, encapsulates in the insulation that may be there, and raises that R value basically up in the mid-20s to make that house more energy efficient. Plus, it's going to get rid of some of that noise from outside, if you have any. But USA Insulation, give them a holler. They can take care of all your needs.
Hey guys, today we're over here at Tiki Island right there by Galveston. We're doing another installs over here. As you can see, usually we are going through the walls, but over here you see the vapor barrier, and right behind it is the plywood. What the customer had the question with was the humidity around the area. Since we are right by the Gulf and we're talking about it, the customer had a problem with the humidity, and then with the air seal for the USA Insulation, we are trying to get them taken care of.
I guess time will tell, but I don't really have any doubt. I have some experience with foam, not in a home as much as I've had experience in big buildings where we had our business, and we use closed cell foam, and the difference it makes is just phenomenal. And I'm hoping that this injection foam is going to be just as remarkable as the closed cell foam.
Normally in the houses we have sidings, either brick or hardy. This house over here, the customer took the sidings off, and to make sure that there's no moisture or mold or anything like that on the plywood that they have on the houses. But in this case right here, it was all good to go. Now we don't have to go out from the drilling holes through the sidings. Right now what we're doing is we're going to be drilling holes directly onto the plywood, and we'll be injecting the foam through that. Now, a lot of times when we're doing the jobs, we will drill a couple of holes. Either we'll drill a 2-inch hole, or if you have a hardy board or you have brick siding, we'll drill a hole about 5/8 of an inch. So usually with the mortar, don't worry about it. We're not going to be leaving holes in the walls, either mortar, which is brick seam, or hardy. What we do is we always are going to patch the hole. It's going to be a 5/8 of an inch hole that we're going to cover it up with either mortar, match the paint, and even with hardy, we will match the paint.
We're getting rid of the vinyl siding. We're putting hardy board on, or hardy siding, and then also on top of that, we're putting a little different type material under the hardy board, and we're putting new windows. And along with all that, we're hoping that it makes quite a bit of difference in the livability of the house.
So guys, as you can see, we're on the second deck where we're actually doing the insulation over here. Now the thing with the injection foam, the best part about it is you don't have to take your existing walls down. And not only that, it will actually help you with the air seal around the windows. It will help you with maintaining your temperature inside the house. Now, if you have complaints about, you're talking about your electricity bill being too high, or it's just your AC constantly running, what we do is we go in here, we're going to be injecting from the outside of the house, depending on what kind of sidings you have. If it's brick, hardy. Now in this house, as you can see, they have some vinyl right here, which we can remove it. and do the injection that way. As far as the application itself goes, it is usually done within a day, depending on the size of the house, depending on how much work we're going to be doing. So that is how we do the injection. So with this house, they have the fiberglass battens. Now in this case, what we're going to be doing while injecting it is going to push the fiberglass back, and it will cover the cavity of the wall, which will give you the insulation it needs. Now the R value that we're working with is going to be 5.1 R value with the every inch, 5.1 R value up to per inch. So if it's a 2x4 or 2x6, you're looking at anywhere between R20 to R30.
And we did open cell foam in under the decking area where the roof is in this house. So this attic in this house is actually climate control, just like the house. And that made a lot of difference in the light bill.
All right, so as you can see, the insulation, when it's properly insulated, it comes out. This is what the material is. This is the viscosity that goes inside the house. With this being done, it will air seal all the cracks. It will air seal around your windows, around your outlet plugs, and all that stuff. What it does is going to insulate it properly to a point where you don't have to worry about getting any humidity in or even getting any loss of energy.
Welcome back to Texas Home Improvement, your total home improvement source. 1-800-288-9227. That's 1-800-288-9227. Any home improvement you have, feel free to pick up the phone, give me a call, and I'll see what I can do to help you out here on Texas Home Improvement. Now, don't forget about our website, thipro.com. There's all kinds of helpful information there, links to the people you hear me talk about. There's questions and answers and videos. There is copies of our TV show, which, by the way, you can be watching live on our website, thipro.com right now. We're out at the Frisco Home and Garden Show at the Star, the Ford Center there, and we're broadcasting live over our YouTube channel, which is linked right now to our website, thipro.com. But so that's there. You got copies of our newsletters, and you can sign up for that. It goes out every other week. Got copies of our podcast and a way to link to listen to the podcast as it goes out every week. It's just a wealth of information at thipro.com. And that's where you'll find the Ask Jim button, where you can send in email questions to me as well. Again, that's all available at thipro.com. And yes, we are again broadcasting live from the Frisco Home and Garden Show at the Star at the Ford Center. And if you have a question, we're still here to take calls and answer questions. 1-800-288-9227. In fact, let's try to head to Weatherford. And Dan, are you there? How can I help you today?
Yeah, we got a covered concrete patio, 150 square feet. We're in our early 70s. We're trying to make it not as slippery. Completely ground it down to bare concrete. We'll put down an epoxy finish to it, I think. Now I want to put something on it so it's not as slippery. Suggestions?
Well, there's all kinds of I have Brett here from Sam the Concrete Man. You want to?
Yeah. Hey, Jim.
Let me. There we go. I got you
Let me
turned
make
on.
sure that I'm on. Yeah. So what you want to put in whatever you put on the surface of that patio is going to have aluminum oxide in it. If you throw some aluminum oxide crystals out there, it's kind of like a little tiny bit of sandpaper, and you can put it in acrylic sealers. You can put it in all sorts of different things. But that will give you the traction you're looking for while you've got that nice shiny surface or epoxy surface that you're looking for.
So I mix it to the sealer and not throw it on.
Yes, yeah. It's the last step as you're putting the sealer on. It comes in a little tiny bag, and you're just gonna take pinches of it and just kind of toss it up in the air like that, and just as it falls to the ground, it'll distribute evenly. And then that'll give you just enough traction that you can still walk on it barefoot without being painful, but you'll still have traction in the end.
That's fantastic. I can get my wife to help me, and she'll say, I help.
All I'm going to say, Dan, is good luck with that one. I'm teasing you.
All I know is she didn't help me grind it down.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you a quick story on grinding down, because I had to do that when I remodeled my house 23 years ago when I bought it. And I had to go to work. We had been scraping off some old Sateo tile in the living area of the house. And then had to take a big floor grinder and grind down the mortar and all that stuff. And I came home from work and I said, that's all the further you guys got? My wife was not a happy camper.
I can believe that.
Yep. So
yeah.
I get it.
They're very kind to us. I appreciate it. Aluminum oxide?
Yes, aluminum oxide, and you can get it in some of the big box stores, but you can also buy it online. You're going to be amazed how small that little baggie is to do all that work, but that's what you need.
You're literally taking just pinches of it, not handfuls
right.
and tossing.
If you grab handfuls, it's going to be rough to your bare feet.
Yeah.
And a little uncomfortable, and it would just be overkill. It's not going to give you any extra traction.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Dan, take care. And again, our number is 1-800-288-9227. You just heard Brett from Sam the Concrete Man, and Brett, welcome to Texas Home Improvement.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
So let's talk concrete a little bit, because you know, all really anybody sees in the end is the surface, which we were just talking about. And you guys have a lot of options when it comes to that surface when it's finished.
True.
And go over some of those options that you offer.
So the way you finish concrete is, you know, the traditional one, the one that you see everywhere, you know, sidewalks, driveways, all that kind of thing. That is called a broom finish. And so it's the very last step as we finish the concrete. It's basically hard everywhere except the very top layer. We drag a broom across it at the very end, and it provides that extra traction that you need. Some shop floors and garage floors, you do a smooth finish,
Like
which
where
is
we're standing right now.
Exactly. So, you know, what we do here is we just finish it off with the trowels, and we just don't do the broom at all. And it will create a very slick surface. A lot of shop floors like that, because if they spill things on it, they can use a squeegee or something like that to clean things off. They can hose it down, the water runs right off it. With the broom finish, it's a little bit more spongy where it has a texture to it. So it's a little bit harder to clean, but it provides the traction that's very necessary for anything that people are going to be walking on.
Now, you know, like I just said, in the end, the finish is what people see.
Right.
And if that was done bad, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Of course, sometimes it may not show for a year or two if it was misfinished, but the prep work is something that people don't typically see, and that makes all the difference in the world on the longevity of this concrete.
That's the key. Really, the work, it's just like when you do a paint job, right? You're going out and you're hiring a painter who is going to take meticulous care of the prep. Sometimes the prep takes 75% of the time. And then they finally get to that stage where they're putting the paint on, and you're like, okay, I've seen a lot of prep here, and now 10 minutes worth of paint. And then they peel that tape off and do all the cleanup, and you've got a beautiful product.
Right.
Concrete is very similar to that. What we do is we come in, and if we need to remove the concrete that you've got, we're going to remove it with jackhammers and all sorts of fancy equipment. We're going to haul that off and recycle it. Once we do that, we're going to dig out some of the soil underneath, because in these Texas soils, you've got clays, you've got all sorts of different expansive soils. We want to try to eliminate the impacts of the rise and fall of those bad soils. We're going to bring in what they call road base, or some people call it flex base. It's recycled asphalt and concrete and different things like that that are mixed together with certain soils. And what we do is we put that in there, and then we compact it with what they call a plate compactor. We really get a hard surface underneath the concrete long before we even think about pouring the first ounce of concrete. After that, we're going to come in and put 3/8" rebar both directions, and we're probably going to connect that wired infrastructure of rebar into the adjacent concrete, if there is any, as well. Make sure that we don't get what we call shear, where the concrete separates. You see driveways all over the place in the Dallas area where the concrete is separating. And the reason for that is, one, there's no rebar in and two, that they didn't connect it to the prior piece of concrete that was there.
Right.
So that's really, now we're prepared, and now we're moving on to the actual pouring of the 3,500 PSI concrete with fiber mesh in it to make it even extra strong. And then that's when we start the finishing stage that we were just talking about.
Yeah, the road base setup, the way you're talking about, is much like what you would see when they're doing a highway.
Yes.
You're just scaling it down
That's
for
right.
residential use.
That's exactly right.
Which is something that most concrete companies don't do.
That's true. A lot of them, especially some of the ones that are trying to get in a little bit better on the price, they will skip some of these steps.
Right.
And then you may not see it for the first year or two, but then ultimately you'll start to see that shine through. The concrete will change, it'll crack, it'll break, and then you're kind of at a start over stage. So we only do it this way. We have a 14-point quality process as we go through this entire thing, and make sure that we have done absolutely everything You know, the saying in the concrete industry is ice cream melts and concrete cracks.
Yep.
It does, and that's also why we use control joints in the very end. So we'll put control joints about every 8 feet, also in certain strategic places that we know are very likely to crack, and so that if the concrete does crack, it will crack in those control joints, but it won't separate like you see a lot of the concrete in the Dallas area do.
Right.
It's going to hold fast to that rebar that we put in there. So yes, it'll crack a little bit, not visible to the human eye, but it will hold together because of the fiber mesh and also because of the rebar that's inside.
And I got to tell you, I'm a huge fan of fiber mesh. I started using that back in the late 70s on some stuff we were doing, and the first time I went to have some put into a concrete truck, the guy looked at me and said, "I'm not putting that stuff in my truck. I don't know what the heck that is," because it was just hitting the market then. But it really, granted, it can depending on which fiber mesh you use, it can make your concrete look like it's a little hairy for a few years. But it really does a great job of minimizing cracking.
Yes, and at Sam the Concrete Man, we put it in at the actual plant.
Yeah.
So that it's mixing in with the concrete all the way from the ready mix plant to the work site, and that way you minimize that kind of hairy look.
Yeah.
It may be there for a month or two, but it pretty much wears off shortly after that, and it makes it so much stronger. If it does crack, it won't be visible to the human eye, and all those fibers will hold that concrete together. It's amazing how something so small can do so much work.
I've got to take a quick break, but if you want to call Sam the Concrete Man, it's 214-245-4515. That's 214-245-4515. When we come back, Brett, I'm going to have a couple more questions for you before we let you go, but let me take this quick break here. By the way, our number, 1-800-288-9227. That's 1-800-288-9227. You know, Milo Insulation can help you with all the attic insulation you need. Granted, there's a lot of different types of insulation out there, but if you use blown-in fiberglass, blown-in cellulose, any of the blown-in insulations, they settle over time. And then you got to pay to have more insulation added, typically every 8 to 10 years. Milo Insulation, yes, they're blowing in these things that look like packing peanuts, but they don't settle over time because the air pockets that insulation requires are within the peanut itself. So call Milo Insulation, 940-331-6456. That's 940-331-6456, and get your insulation done once and for all.
At Milo Insulation, we can help your home's efficiency with all-natural Milex, an innovative new green insulation with patented thermal puff technology and lower production costs than any other products on the market. Milex is produced without any toxic chemicals and is half the cost of spray foam insulation. Milex is cost-effective, flame-resistant, and hypoallergenic. It's also mold-resistant and naturally repels insects and other pests. And it cuts your heating and cooling bills by as much as 50%. Give us a call for your free attic inspection.
Listen to the last hour, you heard JR from Lone Star Masonry Repair. And look, if you're needing to get some masonry work done around your house, whether it's an archway that's settling, some settlement cracks in the brick veneer, whatever needs to be done. You don't like the looks of the brick and you want to do a smear over the whole brick, Lone Star Masonry Repair can help you out. 817-709-6834. That's 817-709-6834.
At DFW Improved, our philosophy is simple. We create custom spaces to make each client's home their own.
We've been renovating homes in DFW for 14 years, and we've built our reputation on achieving total client satisfaction. Our staff helps you take your project from conception to design, all the way through to completion.
So whether you're looking to update your bathroom or your entire home, give us a call today or visit our website to be inspired to fall in love with your home again.
Rhino Shield. You know, you've been thinking about getting your house painted, but there's such a better product to use. It's Rhino Shield. Now, Rhino Shield, although it looks like paint, it's not really a paint. It's a coating. It goes on in layers, And the first step is they got to do a lot of prep work. Just like we were talking about with the concrete to do it right, well, they do the prep work to put this coating on. Then when they apply the coating, you've got a 25-year warranty. That means you don't have to worry about painting your house again. You're wanting to get your house looking good and keeping it looking like new? Call Rhino Shield, 214-833-7706, 214-833-7706. And yes, they are out here at the Frisco Home and Garden Show as well.
Here's some stuff you need to know.
I'm Jason with DFW Improved, and I'm going to show you the easy way to cut crown. A lot of people like to lay the crown flat. You end up beveling your saw this way, you turn it this way. Gets really confusing, gets a lot of pain in the butt to do it. Easy way to do it is, let me get this squared up real quick. You imagine the bottom of your saw here as the ceiling. This rail here as your wall. So you actually end up cutting your crown upside down and backwards. So my first piece of crown is 12 inches. Make that mark. And then I roll it to where it's gonna sit on the wall. Just like that, nice and tight on that wall, nice and tight on the ceiling right there. You just bring the saw down, and you got your piece of crown. It'll sit like that.
Hey, for more quick tips like these, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can get there by going to thipro.com.
Welcome back to Texas Home Improvement, your total home improvement source, 1-800-288-9227. I've got Brett here from Sam the Concrete Man. And Michael, I'm going to get to you on that HVAC question here in just a minute. But Brett, in talking about concrete, you mentioned the 3,500 PSI. Yes. And I know a lot of companies don't go that, start at 3,500. Some of them even try to order 2,000, which is just ridiculous. But all these details is what makes the concrete last. Concrete is not forever unless it's done right.
That's right.
And so often people don't understand that. And concrete, once you pour it, that's not exactly how the color's going to be 6 months from now when it's cured.
Sure, sure. Yeah, the final color of concrete, we can do a lot of things. We can color the actual concrete. Two, when you first pour it, it's obviously going to be that dark gray color, and then it's going to start to turn all sorts of different shades over the next 28 days. It'll be yellow, it'll be brown, it'll be white, it'll be gray, and then ultimately it ends up in that kind of medium white grayish look that everybody's so familiar with. So color can be a big factor, and if you cut corners, you can also end up with some colors that maybe you're not so pleased with.
Yeah, and stuff that stays.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's, people take concrete for granted, I guess, is a way to put it, because we've, stood on it and walked on it and driven on it for so long. But there really are different ways of installing it that make all the world of difference. So we're very focused on making sure that we put the right prep steps in place so that the end product is the highest quality it can possibly be.
Now, there is a booth out here for
Yes.
Sam the Concrete Man if somebody is in the Frisco area and wants to come by. But otherwise, they can just simply give you a holler. And 214-245-4515, and you'd be more than happy to help them out with all their concrete needs. And again, it's driveways, patios, walkways, whatever concrete they need around the house.
That's right. Shed slabs, hot tub slabs, all sorts of different things. But basically, we can do anything around the residential area with concrete.
So, and a lot of times people start thinking, well, I got this driveway, and I would like to have a place over on the side to park my RV or my boat or whatever. You guys can hook them up and get them taken care of.
Driveway extensions are probably one of the most popular items that we do. And the reason being is that a lot of these Texas homes are poured with very narrow driveways for some reason.
Yep.
And then they leave these very large areas that are kind of unusable. They don't particularly lend themselves to great landscaping, and they're perfect for adding concrete so that you can make an RV slab or extra parking for the kids as they turn 16.
Yeah. Well, Brett, I appreciate it, and look forward to talking to you again down the road.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jim.
And again, if you want to call Sam the Concrete Man, 214-245-4515. Got a home improvement question, 1-800-288-9227. Let's talk real quick about DFW Improved. In fact, they have a booth out here at the Frisco Home and Garden Show as well. If you want to come out and talk to them, by all means, make the trip out. But look, I can tell you from personal experience that DFW Improved does beautiful work. You call them up, they come out, they sit down with you, go over what you're wanting to get done. Then they can start putting it together. And at some point when you guys get close to what you're wanting to do, they can put it into 3D computers where you can actually walk through your house and see what these finished effects will be. Call DFW Improved, 972-591-0777, 972-591-0777, or come on out to the Frisco Home and Garden Show. All right, you're gonna see these professional drywall guys. They are fast. They're gonna move through and cut and all this kind of stuff, but the do-it-yourselfer, you're not typically gonna take the tape measure, put your knife on and follow it and cut it. It's just not, it's something you get from practice. So typically what you're gonna do is mark where you need it, and I'm gonna give you just a quick rundown here. We're gonna cut this 6 inches. Mark it with a pencil. And the nice thing about drywall, you don't have to be exact on it. You can retrim it, you can float it, you can do a lot of stuff to cover up mistakes. But just mark it with a pencil and then use your knife to follow your pencil line. You're not going to be near as fast as the guy doing it professionally, but guess what? You're going to get the job done and you're going to like what you did. Once you've scarred it, you snap it, reach underneath with your knife, piece is cut. It is that simple. And it doesn't matter if you're doing a small piece or a big 4x8 sheet. It's that simple. Just keep in mind, sheetrock is cheap and it's easy to redo. Hey, for more quick tips like these, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can get there by going to thipro.com. Foundation repair shouldn't be left to the inexperienced. At Due West, we've been keeping Texans on a solid foundation with our tried and true methods since 1978. So if you're noticing cracks in your walls and doors that are sticking, call the best. Call Due West.
I don't really hear myself, but check. Hear me okay? Barely. I can hear me though. Check. There we go. That's me. Okay.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast!
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Are you a man?
Enjoy it while you can. Here's more Texas Home Improvement with Jim Dutton.
Well, I would say that good mood was probably short-lived. I'll get it on here in a second. Look, we're out here at the Frisco Home and Garden Show. It's free to get in. You can park in the parking garage. It's free to get in there as well. So come on out and see what's going on out here at the Frisco Home and Garden Show. What do you need?
Turn my volume in my headset down. Please, sir. Thank you. Oh, yeah. All right.
That was that local that you kept.
Okay. Well, I'm here to. You said I'm not the reliever. I'm
well,
the.
Let me
no.
Introduce you.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Okay. So, if you've been hearing, I've been cutting the mic on and off. I'm hacking up a lung while I'm doing the show today. I'm going to have Brian McFarlane. He's my partner here on Texas Home Improvement. I get the privilege of doing the fun part. I get to take the calls, answer questions, which, by the way, we're going to do before we go to our next guest. And Brian gets to take care of all the behind-the-scenes stuff, dealing with the sponsors and the paperwork and all the stuff that I don't really want to have to do. I just like the fun stuff. So with that being said, Brian's going to help out with some of the interviews. So
But don't consider me a reliever. I'm the closer. I'm closing this thing out for you. Okay.
I still have the button.
Okay.
But we have a caller. Michael,
okay.
How can I help you today?
Hey, Jim, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. You sound like the way
I was about to say, he sounds just like you.
Oh, yeah. So maybe somebody can close my conversation for you.
Yeah.
But listened to you a long time. Called in a couple times. Really enjoy your show. Thursday, we had our HVAC company on for the spring maintenance. And they ended up recommending 4 big ticket items, and they were late, so I said, well, we have to reschedule this. But then I started doing a little research on what they recommended. I'd like to get your take on it. So the system is only 5 years old, brand new. We built the house. They were the installers, so I just took them on as the maintenance.
Okay.
But one of the big ticket items was a hard start kit compressor saver.
And how old is your AC system?
5 years.
Okay.
I looked at your website, and you said, maybe it's like 25 years.
Yeah, typically at 5, you're not needing a hard start yet. People like to recommend them because it is a high-ticket item that produces good revenue. But if you put them in too early, it does absolutely nothing for you. So unless there's a reason to put it in, I wouldn't put it in yet.
Okay. Well, he showed me on the meter. There's on the sticker like a number he's quoted as LRA number, like Leroy, Romeo Alpha 104, and I think his meter. I mean, I don't know how to use meters, but I think his meter was showing about 120.
Okay.
So is that within tolerances?
I would have to look at it in detail, and honestly, I would actually have to have one of my AC guys look at it in detail because I don't keep up with all that numbers on all the different things, so I couldn't answer that one.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're just say, well, it's a little early in the age to be doing that.
It sounds
okay.
like it, yes.
Okay. He also put the capacitor on the meter and said it's maybe getting close to failing. Is that can you tell that with the meter?
The meter can tell you that because the capacitor has to be within a certain range, and it'll typically say on the capacitor, all the different capacitors have different ranges, and as it wears down, it can actually go outside that range and still be working, but it's telling you, hey, it's outside the range already, it could give out at any time. So unless he can tell you what the range was, and at 5 years, at 5 years, capacitors can be wearing out.
Okay. The other big ticket item was recommend a draft with a flow switch.
A what?
A trap. So the B trap up there with a flow switch.
For the
condensation.
For the condensation drain.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd want that. I mean, I do recommend like drip IV systems and stuff like that to keep the drain lines clean, but that's about as far as I go.
Yeah, okay, because I always pour white vinegar down there about once every 2 months, and it's got the tray. It was built with the tray and the little flow switch or whatever.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, that kind of answers my question. I think they're just maybe trying to buffer or build up the bottom line.
That's it.
A little bit.
And that's unfortunately what a lot of them do nowadays. All right, Michael, you take care and have a great afternoon.
All right. Thank you very much.
You bet. Bye-bye. All right. I'm going to let Brian introduce our next guest.
Yeah, well, we have Jason Akers with Rhino Shield, and you know all about the product. I just heard you doing their live reads, but this is the product that you will put on your house and never have to paint your house again. 25-year warranty. Tell us a little bit about the product.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a two-step process. It's primer, then top coat. That primer has a muriatic acid in it that etches the surface. So when we do that, we don't have to bond on top of failed paint. We pass straight through that. So once we bond to that original substrate, then our top coat goes on with the elastomeric ceramics, which I'll show you here in a few. It's 25 years. You never do it again. It's maintenance free.
And breathable. That's what Jim likes about the product too. I'm dying to see this. I know we're going to jump ahead, but show me this little demonstration. And one of the things we're doing, as Jim's been talking about, you can watch this on our YouTube channel live, but we'll describe this to the radio audience as well. Talk about what you brought today to show us.
Absolutely. So one of the key ingredients we have in our top coat is 3M ceramics. That's what reflects up to 98% of the sun's rays. So I brought a glass jar full of them. There's probably billions of these in here.
Okay.
You can see the 3M there.
Okay.
Basically what this will demonstrate, I'm going to shake them. And when I shake them, it's creating friction, therefore heating these up. So it represents on a hot sunny day, these ceramics inside our coating will actually form a bigger shield to reflect more of the heat. Then of course when it gets cold or there's a freeze like in January, they'll shrink down. So expansion and contraction, these move with it. So I will gently shake these for probably 5 seconds. And then you can see the difference here. When we give it a little bit more, there you go.
Oh, wow.
It's expanded all the way to the top. So there are billions of little glass microspheres that are packed in our coating. 18% of our top coat is made of these 3M ceramics.
Okay.
So that is the reflective value that we get in our 7 of insulation.
Wow.
So pretty outstanding.
That's pretty cool.
While you two get to talk, I get to play with that.
Oh, come on.
There you go.
Well, that's just one of the many things. And how many colors do you guys have? I know it's endless, correct?
Yeah, we have 1,500 of our own, but A lot of people like to go to Sherwin-Williams, Dunn Edwards, Home Depot, Lowe's, and pick out a color they really like, maybe sample it themselves. We can color match all those.
One of the things I love about the Rhino Shield product too is your house looks brand new, not repainted. It's not like you just, the homeowner went out and tried it and messed up a little bit here and there. It looks brand new, but that's because not just of the coating, because of the prep work. And that's where most people mess this up, is during the prep work. Talk a little bit about that process.
Yeah, a lot of people overlook prep. Prep is going to be 80% of our job. Our guys know how to spray it. They're all trained and certified down in Florida. And the product's been around since the late 70s. It's just, we're only as good as the substrate we go on. So wood bondo, wood replacement, even some masonry repair or stucco repair, stuff like that, we need to make sure it's all good and ready to go. So they spend, on average, anywhere from 2 to 2.5 days just for prep, and then masking everything up and then re-caulking around the windows to make sure we're all good to go once the Rhino Shield process starts.
And we've shown that a lot on the videos. If you go to THI Pro, any of the jobs we do, there is a ton of prep going into this, from you guys taking off the old coating to prepping it with the primer, and then also putting the product on. Jason, I really, really appreciate you coming. 214-833-7706, 214-833-7706 for Rhino Shield. And you guys are out here. I'm looking down below, almost right below us, just right kind of in the middle of the show, the back end of the middle. Come by and say hi to Rhino Shield out here at the Frisco Home and Garden Show.
Absolutely, booth 815.
815. All right.
All right, well, we got to take a quick break here. Let me tell you guys real quick about sunburst shutters. I love sunburst shutters. Have in my home, have them for years already. Had some more added to another place. They're made of polywood. It's guaranteed to never warp, crack, chip, or peel. It's a lifetime guarantee. Call Sunburst Shutters, 214-343-2601. Foundation repair shouldn't be left to the inexperienced. At Due West, we've been keeping Texans on a solid foundation with our tried and true methods since 1978. So if you're noticing cracks in your walls and doors that are sticking, call the best. Call Due West.
Whether you build homes for a living or want the best for your own home, choose siding you're proud to stand by. Hardy Siding is ready to withstand storms, holds its own against heavy winds and debris, and even helps homes stand up to fire, leaving a lasting impression. James Hardy, what the best are made of.
Here's some stuff you need to know.
When we go out to do estimates, and the first thing everybody wants to know is price. How much is it? How much is it? How much is it? And it's kind of the elephant in the room. Right?
Yeah.
And I tell homeowners all the time, there's two things that go into price. On one hand, you have the things that you or I, we have no control over. The size of your house, kind of windows you got, what kind of insulation you got, how many people are in the home, what city you live in. These are things we don't have control over. It just kind of is what it is, right? And then on the other hand are all things you have control over, how efficient you want it, what kind of warranty coverage you want, how noisy or quiet do you want it to be, what kind of protection do you want in your system. So our job is to figure out all the things that you or I, we have no control over, and kind of turn over every stone and figure out sizing and all that stuff and city, the things that we're gonna need to do for your city codes, and then present a couple really easy options for you that you have 100% control.
And I know exactly, if you come out here and look at your booth, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. You guys put a lot of time into it. The things, and what's cool is if you watch this live on our YouTube channel, you're gonna see some of the functions because we're showing that. Real quick, let's talk about the different types of wood that you guys offer.
Yeah, so all of our drawers are made of real hard solid wood, which is a big difference maker when you're thinking about the longevity of a drawer. And the fun part is we source all different woods all over the US, so we can make a custom drawer for you from a maple to a walnut and everything in between. So it makes it pretty unique and long lasting. For example, you can get a drawer made in walnut. How often do you see that? It's very pretty, elevates the kitchen, but it's also a really hard, dense wood. It's built to last.
What about some of these other options here?
Yeah, we've got, I would say our maples are probably the most popular. We've got 3 different kinds of maple, and then we have a lot of our red tones as well. So we have a really pretty red oak, cherry wood, we've got an ash wood. And all of this is really important, so the drawer's built real sound. You can put your cast irons or appliances, really heavy things on there, and they're still going to last and be in good standing.
That oak would make a beautiful floor, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you know, a lot of people like to kind of match the aesthetics of their
Yeah.
kitchen already. They get pretty remodels done, and they want the drawer to be an accent to the kitchen. And this way we can build them where they look really nice.
Well, one of the things you were able to do for us, my daughter has special needs, and she has some have a pretty big pantry. One of the things we did with DFW Improved is really added that in there. While we have our last minute here, I want to talk a little bit about what you guys do to allow people to access parts of their cabinets, or in our case, it's just more of an open cabinet. Talk a little bit about what you're going to do in our pantry.
I'm actually glad you mentioned that. So we like to come out on the front end to plan it out. We want to build and design the drawer based on whatever the needs are in your kitchen. So see how you're using the kitchen, what are the frustrating parts, what items need to be stored where, because that helps us design around it. There's a lot of different things we can do with drawers than what meets the eye. So we come out, meet with you, meet your daughter, figure out where her go-to snacks are, how we want to design it, and all with the goal to make things easier for her. So we plan it on the front end. It's not an afterthought once you get the drawer inside.
And one thing I love about it is it allows you to access things that there were things in the back of in our pantry I didn't even know had been there. Might have been expired. Who knows? There's the brisket rub I've been looking for. That I'm missing it. I didn't know it was there, but now you can pull it out and everything's organized perfectly. So.
The rails are full extension.
Okay.
So you can see it, remember what you have, and be able to grab what's in the back.
So we just rolled right over my mic there. Well, we got to jump to a quick break, but Jennifer, I really appreciate you stopping by and helping us out here and talking about drawers.
Thank you.
And they have a booth out here if you want to come out to the Frisco Home and Garden Show. Let's talk real quick about Shelton Construction. Look, if you're looking for somebody to remodel your home, Shelton Construction absolutely can do it. I've used their services many times. They do beautiful work. They'll sit down with you, get an idea what you want to do, and help you make the decisions of which way you want to go, and put numbers together so that you guys can take that house that you have and make it into the beautiful home you've always wanted. Shelton Construction, 817-423-7302.
Folks hire guys like us. Staining and sealing like a pro can be a real headache. And they're right, unless they know our secret.
We have a secret?
Oh yeah. Ready Seal Stain and Sealer for wood is the professional's product of choice. The one-of-a-kind formula means no laps, streaks, or back brushing required.
Hey, am I doing this right?
Doesn't matter, son. Stuff's
Goof-proof. Ready Seal. Look for the goof-proof label and get it right on your first try.
Got any other secrets? Oh, we're just getting started.
First hour of the show, look, if you're having air conditioning problems, heating problems, or you just want to get your system taken care of for the summer, On-Time Experts can help. 469-225-0318.
So let's take a look at what it takes to do a static test. First, you're going to drop the test ball down in the hole and send it away from the house. Then you'll air it up, and what you're doing is basically sealing the pipe so that water doesn't exit any longer. So the pressure has to be pumped up to seal the pipe properly. Once that's completed, now it's time to go ahead and start filling the pipe with water. And you're going to fill the entire system under the home with water using this port as your visual to see when it's completely full. Then you let the water stabilize and you monitor it for 20 minutes. By stabilize, we mean the water level's not bouncing up and down any longer. Once that's done, you're monitoring for 20 minutes to see if it drops. If you have drop, you've got a leak. If there's no drop, no leak. Pull the pipe back out, let the water drain off, and you've got yourself a static test. Hey, for more quick tips like these, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can get there by going to thipro.com. You know, at Due West Foundation Repair, we like to take care of things and keep them around for a long time. That's what we got now.
Last guest of the day, we've got Jason Phillips here with Phillips Now Home Improvements. But you do painting, roofing, gutters, everything. If you've lived in the Plano area, you know Phillips. You've seen we see your trucks. You've been here for how many years now?
We just celebrated 29 years.
29 years, family-owned and operated company. Let's talk real quick because we have limited time because you and I talk a lot about businesses, successful businesses. What is the number one thing contributing to customer satisfaction? And let's talk about good or bad.
Well, I would say the bad, Brian, the number one contributor to bad customer satisfaction or low customer satisfaction is the overwhelmed contractor. The guy starts his business, goes out, does a great job, maybe he's a technician in whatever trade, and word gets around, he does well, but then the business outgrows his leadership and business skills, and so he gets overwhelmed. Then he just becomes a perpetual firefighter, and now he's just begging for help. He needs people, he hires people, ends up hiring the wrong people, and they're not trained well, and because he can't differentiate himself in the marketplace, he ends up competing on price and selling low price. When sell price is too low, now you can't hire the great people that you need. And so the very thing that helps you get your initial success then contributes to low client satisfaction.
One of the things Jim talks about all the time is if I get it wrong, he'll tell me good, fast, and cheap, pick two.
Oh, that's right.
And so, if you want it, really fast, and you're gonna pay him. But you guys do a great job. You run a great business. People, like I said, who have lived in this area know all about you guys. You guys have a booth here. I look right. You're next to Sam the Concrete Man, which is one of our sponsors here. People need to come out and check out what you guys have. You've got interior painting, exterior painting, roofing, gutters. You even have windows now.
And we're giving away a free garage floor coating.
Okay. Wow. Can I go sign up for that? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to talk to you further down the road, but what a great way to end the show here. We're going to be out here at the Frisco Home and Garden Show for another 2 hours. Come by and say hi to Jim. Check us out on YouTube.
All right. Thanks for coming by. Look, if you're needing air conditioning work, and you're thinking about somebody's told you got to have a new unit, call Stewart HVAC. Get a second opinion before you spend a bunch of money. You need somebody to balance out the system that you have so that you're not having hot and cold spots. Stewart HVAC, they can help you out. 972-416-3413. That's 972-416-3413.
At Due West Foundation Repair, we like to take care of things and keep them around for a long time. That's the reason we offer you a lifetime warranty, because we know you want to take care of your home the same way we've taken care of this old truck over the years. When you want the best, call Due West.
Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino and you'll never have to paint your home or building again. Rhino Shield is formulated specifically for our unique climate here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Rhino Shield resists chipping, cracking, flaking, or peeling, and is backed by our extraordinary 25-year warranty. So stop throwing your money away on ordinary paint. Call now for a free estimate and receive 20% off the regular price.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
In a controlled demonstration at a fire training facility, 4 sets were constructed and clad with different exterior siding materials: vinyl, cedar, engineered wood, and hardy fiber cement. After 10 minutes of direct flame exposure, vinyl, cedar, and engineered wood eventually succumbed to the fire, while the hardy fiber cement siding did not combust or contribute to the spread of the flames.
That's amazing.
Goof-proof secret number 12.
Did I ruin it, boss? If that was possible, you wouldn't be here.
No wet edge application required. Ready Seal. Goof-proof stain and sealer for wood. Literally anyone can do it.
What we're going to do is we're going to remove these broken bricks. We're going to replace them with new brick, just as the original house has. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the mortar matches and the mortar joints are evened out. That way you don't have a real fat mortar joint in one area. That'll make it stand out also. A lot of times people try to patch up the brick. Another thing too, if they don't match the mortar, it's just going to put a highlighter on it. Our goal is to always make the house look like it wasn't repaired. What we're going to do is we're going to remove not just the broken ones, but these other two right here, where we'll be able to shift this one over a little bit and leave that one there. So what we're basically going to do is we're going to be evening out these two mortar joints. That way you don't just have one huge mortar joint right here. Originally this house was just a straight gray mortar. What we're going to do is we're going to blend white mortar with gray mortar so we can get that lighter shaded gray. And then what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to slowly add some buff dye to it to be able to get it that tone. So it's going to be a slow process. We'll dry the mortar to make sure that it matches, and then we'll compare it to the wall, and then we'll go in with it. Step 1 is going to be to remove the broken bricks. This brick is older. We're fortunate that we're able to still find these originals. On the other houses, when the bricks are discontinued, we have a brickyard that we keep discontinued brick, but we also look around and get a really close match. That way the repair doesn't look like it's been patched up. Our goal is to make sure that the bricks match and then the mortar matches. Once you have that accomplished, the repair is going to be seamless. On this side of the house, there's a perfect example of a repair that a homeowner or a handyman did. What they did is they put some kind of caulking over the crack and over the brick. As you can see, it stands out. What we're going to do is we're going to grind into those mortar joints, grind out that caulking that they put in there, and replace those broken bricks. That way when it's done, the house actually looks like it was original and not repaired. But this is a perfect example of what the homeowners or somebody that doesn't know what they're doing are patching up the house. He's going to add some mortar dye to the mortar to be able to get that weathered look into the mortar. And even on that, we're real specific of the amounts that we put in there, because our mortars aren't pre-mixed from where you just purchase it and add water to it. What it is actual masonry cement and sand. So we're also controlling the strength of it by
making the ratio of sand to the cement less. So we're not adding so much sand to where it makes it weak. So through the process that we've used is we'll make the mortar stronger by adding more of the cement. But what other people do is they'll go get a bag from Home Depot, and then that's why it never matches, because they're just getting a pre-mixed bag. And we're gonna be making it basically from scratch, just like when you're doing a brand new build. Now he's getting to the final stages of mixing the mortar. Even though that we've showed you the process of it, it's really hard to do. I could go online and look up how to clean out a wound and how to stitch it, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna be able to do it. You gotta be able to have experience doing what you're doing. What he's doing now, he's removing the broken brick, and now he's using a hammer drill to actually remove them completely out of the wall. So now you'll have a void for the new brick to go into. We're having to make cuts because they didn't leave any room above the arch to the trim boards. We've got to make cuts so we can be able to lay the brick up here. Normally this is lower. Believe it or not, Eric, we're going to need 2 more thinner ones than this. That one's for that one. Well, we're done with the project. We've been here 4 hours. We got all of the cracks ground out. We replaced broken bricks. Now, when we leave, we make sure that the house looks like we were never here.
Right. And we're doing this on your radios. That's what's
Improvement source. Also, don't forget
Nathaniel, welcome to Texas Home Improvement. How can I help you today?
Hey, Jim, thanks for taking my call. So my wife and I are looking for a new front door.
Okay.
The one we have right now is kind of old. There's a crack in the glass. Do you have any suggestions or any places that would be best for us to go?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you go to the box stores, you're going to have a pretty limited selection. And, you know, quite frankly, your door is going to look like everybody else's front door. Go over to Southern Front Doors. They got a huge selection. I mean, when you go in the showroom, they've got over 150 doors in the showroom alone. And that's not even to mention what they've got online and picture-wise that they can help you choose. And so, you know, if you don't want a certain type of glass look or tint on the wood, they're doing all that in-house. So, yeah, Southern Front Doors can absolutely do what you're looking for. All right, I had an opportunity to go out to Southern Front Doors, and I've got Jesse here with me. And Jesse, this is a heck of a showroom you got.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that.
You know, we walked through the facility, and you showed me how you guys actually finish the doors. They're not just pre-bought and coming in, you're just reselling them. You actually go through, and these are pretty much all custom doors.
Yeah, we customize the doors to the color, glass, and swing, and some other things like pet doors and hardware. It could be mail slots, it could be peepholes, etc. So we try to customize every door to a customer's liking. So there's a lot to it. There's more than meets the eye.
Now, a lot of shops that do doors, they're just buying pre-finished. You guys are taking and really doing a complete job on them.
Right, and a lot of shops will offer just a handful of finishes. We have 24, so we use Minwax products, and they have a ton of colors. So when a customer comes to our showroom, they say, hey, I need to match this. We can usually get really close to what they want. This area over here is where we do the actual staining. So this door's been glazed and prepped, and now is ready for staining. So he's fixing to get to that point.
I'm looking at the racks you got them on. You're able to just spin the door.
Yes, sir. That's a little homemade homemade contraption, if you would. This is our spray booth. This is where we shoot our clear coat. We use a polyurethane, marine grade exterior polyurethane. This is where we spray it. Once we spray it, it goes to the dry room, and then we repeat the process 2 more times. Once they're done here, we go to the next station, which is across the parking lot here, where we do the assembly and get it ready for installation.
So as a homeowner, what would be my upkeep on these doors when you're finished?
It depends on the exposure that you have. So if you have a large overhang with hardly any exposure to the sun and the rain, it'll be less maintenance.
Right.
But if you have a smaller overhang and more exposure, you'll have more maintenance. So it just depends on everybody's different situation and how their home is where it's facing and how it's built. And we cover that with the homeowner when they're here, so that we can try to explain to them what they're going to be up against. In this area here, we're doing several things. We install glass, or we refer to it as glazing. He's prepping this door to install glass. So this door that has no glass in it, he's getting it ready to do some glass work on this one. Here, this door has already been glazed and it's already been through finish, so he's prepping it, he's cleaning the glass and prepping it for installation.
So how many doors a day can you guys finish?
We typically do about 12 to 15 a day.
All right, again, we're out at Southern Front Doors, and if somebody wants to give you a call, how do they do it?
They can call us at 281-890-5860 or visit our website at southernfront.com.
All right, I appreciate your time today.
Same here. Thank you, Jim.
Security services can help you with all your security needs. And again, residential, commercial, construction sites, it doesn't matter. Citadel Security Services has the equipment to do the job right. You can check out your cameras. You can check out the security systems. They can even do in-home, when you want to have all your TVs connected and all that kind of stuff. You name it, they can take care of it for you. It's Citadel Security Services, 713-922-1901. That's 713-922-1901 for Citadel Security Services. Give them a call today or go to thipro.com.
Whether you build homes for a living or want the best for your own home, choose siding you're proud to stand by. Hardy Siding is ready to withstand storms, holds its own against heavy winds and debris, and even helps homes stand up to fire, leaving a lasting impression. James Hardy, what the best are made of.
At Milo Insulation, we can help your home's efficiency with all-natural Milex, an innovative new green insulation with patented thermal puff technology and lower production costs than any other products on the market. Milex is produced without any toxic chemicals and is half the cost of spray foam insulation. Milex is cost-effective, flame-resistant, and hypoallergenic. It's also mold-resistant and naturally repels insects and other pests. And it cuts your heating and cooling bills by as much as 50%. Give us a call for your free attic inspection.
What I like about it is they are going to have to call a painter probably in another couple of years. I'm never going to have to call a painter because it's permanent.
Foundation repair shouldn't be left to the inexperienced. At Due West, we've been keeping Texans on a solid foundation with our tried and true methods since 1978. So if you're noticing cracks in your walls and doors that are sticking, call the best. Call Due West.
USA Insulation's premium injection foam fills the gaps in walls to create a barrier around your home, allowing you to be the one to decide what the temperature should be. So if it's hot outside, it can be whatever you want inside.
USA Insulation.
You know, everything on a pier and beam is typically sitting on the surface. So as the moisture changes, it'll tend to move up and down. And it's not unusual for those to have to be adjusted like every, if the weather cycles are drastic, it'd be every 3 years. But 5 years is pretty common that you got to just do minor adjustments. And what happens is people don't do the minor adjustments and they let it build up, and say you go 10 years or 12 years, now it becomes more of a major adjustment. And what a lot of times people fail to remember is that it's wood, and as it and you're getting these high and low spots, that gets into the wood. Now it takes time to get that back out of the wood. It's not just an instant pick it up and level it. So the more frequent you make the adjustments, the less the adjustments will affect things, and actually it's quite inexpensive foundation-wise to do that type of repair on a frequent basis.
All right, so that's probably whenever they did a lot of major work, so probably houses just kind of settled since then. So
Yep.
I mean. Still adjust.
From Dallas, so how are we
Yeah,
gonna do
especially
this
if
for
you
the
had a
next 2
lot of
hours?
major work.
Look, what do you mean? I can barely talk.
West, we typically have a period of 6 months where there's absolutely no charge to come back and make those adjustments, and then it goes into an hourly charge to make adjustments, because there's going to have to be some adjustments made, and the contractor doesn't know when it needs to happen. The homeowner needs to call, because it all depends on, hey, were you watering the yard? Did you have trees around the house? Was there a lot of rain that hit your particular area of town? Things like that make a difference.
Right. Okay. Second question.
Okay.
It's an insulation issue. These old houses, they were built what they call balloon construction. I don't know if you're familiar with that term. Basically, they do not have, so the air can run straight up through the walls and into the attic.
Okay.
And it's a summer house, in Houston area, so it was great in the summertime.
Yeah.
But it's horrible in the winter. So I've talked to some different insulation companies, and they're saying, well, you just take some foam, go up underneath the house, because there's no insulation at all in the floors.
Right.
And you can, the board on the floor, there's no tarp over, there's no nothing, and it goes straight down to dirt after that. So,
right.
But they're saying to just spray foam insulation and seal everything up. And I've talked to other people, and they say, if you do that, you're going to destroy your house. So I'm not sure. I mean, there's really no insulation in the walls.
Right.
Because of the way the house is built.
And that's built kind of like skin venting, so that the cool air comes up, goes into that wall cavity, up and out the attic. And it works very well, but you can fill that entire wall cavity with foam insulation. Like you hear me talk about USA insulation. That stops the air draft, but what it'll also do, it won't let it build sweat inside that wall either, because now you have regular insulation in there. And that would drastically increase the energy efficiency of that home.
Okay. Yeah, because it has electric heat, and my electric bills in the winter are like $700 a month.
I was going to say, don't you like those $600 electric bills?
Yeah. So, yeah, I like I said, I need to do something about that, because it will,
Yeah, give USA Insulation a call, because that is something they could definitely help you out with.
Okay. All right. Well, I do appreciate that.
Yep.
Like I said, I was kind of wondering if I should fill that up, or like other people say, is suddenly the mold is attached to wood.
Nah, you'll be fine. If you fill the whole cavity, you'll be fine with it. And with that, I gotta let you go, because we gotta take a break for news, traffic, and weather here on 740 KTRH. But before we go, let me talk about Due West Air Conditioning, because if you're having air conditioning issues, give Due West Air Conditioning a call. If somebody told you needed a new system, get a second opinion first. So often it can be fixed. 713-473-7156.
What I like about it is they are going to have to call a painter probably in another couple of years. I'm never going to have to call a painter because it's permanent.
So often people, when they're probably just out here at the home show walking by your booth, think, well, that looks like a nice paint job, but it's not paint.
That's exactly right. I get that a lot. And so what I do, I just try to simplify it. It looks like paint going on, but other than that, the similarities end. It's completely different. It has different ingredients in it, and is designed and engineered so it will last for 25 years. So you can pick any colors you want, and it's going to insulate. It has a 6.9 R factor. It's water resistant, because when I go on a lot of appointments now, there's a lot of brick homes, but there's also a lot of hardy, where it starts to get bad or starts to rot, or just regular wood.
Right.
And we can repair that But our coating, once we repair it and we put our application on there, it's never going to rot again. So they won't have to worry about that. So it's basically it's going to make it maintenance free for them.
Well, you did a great job up in Allen for Laura.
I did not expect what I got, and I'm just so pleased with it. It is just amazing the way that it looks, and as opposed to just doing paint.
Right. She's a great customer, her and her husband. There's a little bit of a story behind that. When I got to her house, we walked around the house, and then it was a brick house. It was a ranch. The bottom part was brick, the upper part was wood. And on the sides, they had the gables, that was wood. And she asked me to give her a price to replace all the wood.
The original plan was to go ahead and look at possibly replacing all of the hardy board. And so when I went to Rhino Shield and I said, Gary, this is what I'm working with. They want to provide total makeover with new hardy board and paint. And he's like, that's not necessary. And I'm like, what?
I said, okay, do you not like the wood? And she said, no, I had an estimate before you from a painting company, and they said it's all rotted. And I said, well, I could tell by looking at it, some of it needs to be replaced, but not all of it. Long story short, she got a bid from another company to replace all the wood for $16,000.
Oh.
And then they were going to paint it.
Yeah.
We replaced her bad wood. It was $1,000. And then we put the Rhino Shield on there. And it's going to be guaranteed for 25 years. She's our biggest fan.
When you look down the street and you see this house here that was just recently painted, it doesn't even compare to what we have on our house. And
Here's some stuff you need to know.
When you're scraping popcorn ceilings, it can be a real pain because it's messy, it's dirty. I do recommend you wear a mask when you're doing it because it's going to be a lot of dust. Close off all the doors to the room if you can. And if you're going to have finished floors like carpeting or wood floors or anything, put plastic down to capture everything because there's a couple ways of taking these popcorn ceilings down. None of them are clean. So the first thing is, a lot of people will spray it with a little moisture to soften it up. I typically don't. I scrape them when they're dry. And the main reason is I can clean the sheetrock better personally that way. Now when you spray them with moisture, it does help minimize the dust. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of different devices as well. Some of them will hook up to a shop vac to be sucking the material in as you're scraping. I've always found dealing with the hose to be a real pain. Some of them have a little net to capture this stuff. It kind of looks like they took a swimming pool net and converted it for scraping popcorn ceilings. Regardless, for me, old school, I still use just a 6-inch putty knife, scrape it clean. So as you can see, it's really not that difficult to get off. It's just going to take time. And like I said, it's going to be dusty, and I do recommend you wear a dust mask. Quite frankly, I'm not going to do that much of it right now to justify putting the mask on. And you couldn't hear me talk if I had the mask on anyways.
(713-212-5874). Pick up the phone, give me a call, and let's talk some home improvement here on Texas Home Improvement. With that, oops, yeah, there we go. All right, I think what we'll do is we'll jump into an email question and close that one down, open that one, and Brian, I'm going to let you read that.
Oh, you got somebody, let me see. Charlie in Mansfield. I have a shed that was moved a few years ago, and they did not install many footings, and there's no vapor barrier. The shed has been settling and sloping what seems to be 2 or 3 inches. Another thing to note is the overhang was added later. The attached to the building and was concrete under the curved walls. I plan to use the building for at least 5 more years and would like to protect my investment, spending no more than it's worth. Please advise.
Okay. Well, typically a shed's not going to have a vapor barrier under it because it's elevated and it is a shed. Typically they're not going to put a shed under it. As far as leveling it, the runner boards that you see underneath, the 4x6s, that is typically what everything sits on. And depending on the size of the shed, you're going to see those base pads underneath. You can set jacks next to them. If it's high enough off the ground that you can set the jack on some 3/4 inch plywood, 2x2 squares, 2 foot by 2 foot squares of plywood, then put a 1x6 or 1x8 or 1x12, 2x8, 2x12, something like that on top of the plywood. You can set your jack on that and pick it up. If it's not enough room to put a jack, then you got to dig down next to your pad and put your 2 foot by 2 foot piece of plywood into the dirt under and get your space that way to set jacks and pick it up. Now, obviously, you can hire somebody to come out and level it for you that way, or you can do it yourself. I will tell you, if you do try to do it yourself, be very careful, because sheds typically, if this is like a 10 by 12 shed, you got 4 jacks under it, you can start jacking this thing up, and if it becomes a little unstable, it will literally fall, and you can hurt yourself with it. So you got to be very careful as you pick it up. Use cribbing underneath that 4x6 so that if it does happen to slip, it's not falling all the way to the ground, and you darn sure don't want to be underneath that thing if it starts happening. So, but leveling a shed really isn't that expensive, and it's something that does have to happen over time, depending on what you keep in it. I mean, if all you're keeping in there is your lawnmower and a few garden tools, it doesn't weigh much. It's not going to move that much. You start keeping, 300 gallons of paint and all the lawn chemicals and all this heavy stuff, it moves faster because it puts more weight onto the soil. So
I will say, when you try to level a shed, it makes me appreciate more what you guys do.
Oh, yeah.
If I can't level a shed and you're leveling water towers, homes, big things like that, that's a whole new skill level.
It's definitely different. I will tell you one of my favorite projects before I jump into this next call here. At the tank farms, the big round storage tanks, they had the old style ones had floating tops on them, and when they start going out of level, the tank will misshape and the top won't float. And so we went in and underpinned around one of those tanks, picked it up. We've done a few of them, and as you level it up, the tank goes back level and the top starts floating again. So it's interesting how the different things you get to to work on. Anyways, let's see. We're going to jump into our call here. 713-212-5874. Chris, this is Jim. How can I help you?
Hey, Jim. I got a question for you. So I have a customer that I'm remodeling her kitchen for her, and she lives in a condominium. And a few months back, she heard a loud popping sound, and actually it was middle part of last year, actually. And she didn't know what it was. She opened up one of her kitchen cabinets sometime later, and there was this giant steel cable stuck up through the bottom of her kitchen cabinet.
Oh, wow.
And I do handyman stuff for her, and she said, "What is this?" And I said, "I have no idea, but I think that might be a tenon for the slab."
It is.
And she had her part of the okay. So the question is this: I got it basically cut it out and just patched the concrete so that we can put new cabinets over it. There's nothing I can do. But the question is, what caused that to happen? Because it seemed like there was maybe a half inch of concrete above where that tenon came up out of the slab.
Yep.
And what's your recourse? I mean, is there?
How old a structure was it?
What? I want to say it was built in the early 80s.
Okay.
Maybe 1980, 1984, somewhere in there. It's in the Clear Lake area.
Yep.
And I know that I've worked on a lot of houses in there, and a lot of them are not built to code. I mean, before Houston took over, there's a lot of squirrely stuff there.
Being as old as it is, there would be no recourse of going back after anybody at this point for it. The things that can cause something like that is if the cable was stretched tight to begin with, has had some foundation movement that can change the stretching of the cable to put more tension under it.
Okay.
And then at the ends, the brackets that hold it in place, if one of those pop, that whole cable all the way through there can pop. And it just happened that concrete was thin where that section was. That's where it came up through the slab.
Okay. Gotcha.
Literally, if that happens in, say, a living room, it can take your foot off. So,
yeah,
I'm gonna put you on hold because that
through the
music
bottom
meant
of the
I need
kitchen
to take
cabinet.
a break. So let me put you on hold for just a minute. Look, Southern Water Solutions, they can come out and test the water in your home
and make sure you get the water you deserve. Let's face it, the water we're getting nowadays just isn't that good anymore. And it's getting worse all the time. But Southern Water Solutions, they test the water and design filtration, water softeners, reverse osmosis systems, everything to give you the water you need to be healthy and to be able to have clean clothes, clean homes, clean everything. So call Southern Water Solutions at 832-593-3993. That's 832-593-3993. Have them come out, test your water, and get the system to keep your water the way it's supposed to be. And look, well water needs to be tested as well. They can help you with that also. You know, at Due West Foundation Repair, we like to take care of things and keep them around for a long time. That's the reason we offer you a lifetime warranty, because we know you want to take care of your home the same way we've taken care of this old truck over the years. When you want the best, call Due West. About siding for your home, your business, or whatever, you got to start at James Hardie Siding. It's cement based. It's not going to deteriorate. Holds paint better than wood ever thought about. James Hardie Siding, the best siding on the planet.
Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino and you'll never have to paint your home or building again. Rhino Shield is formulated specifically for our unique climate here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Rhino Shield resists chipping, cracking, flaking, or peeling, and is backed by our extraordinary
like I said a little earlier in the show, USA Insulation is who you need to talk to. And if you got an older home that had no insulation in the walls, think how energy efficient that home could be with insulation added to the walls. Now this is a foam insulation, but it's non-expansive, and so it fills the cavity, drops the noise levels from outside, just all around makes that house so much more comfortable. 409-316-9957. That's 409-316-9957. Call them, they'll come out, they'll show you how they can take care of your home. And look, I had my house done. It was built in 1973. I had R11 in the walls. By the time they finished, I'm like an R24 now. It really makes a huge difference, not only on the comfort, the energy bills, but again, the sound from outside. It's USA Insulation, 409-316-9957.
Whether you build homes for a living or want the best for your own home, choose siding you're proud to stand by. Hardie Siding is ready to withstand storms, holds its own against heavy winds and debris, and even helps homes stand up to fire. leaving a lasting impression. James Hardie, what the best are made of.
Hey, welcome back to Texas Home Improvement, 713-212-5874. And if you've ever wondered what it looks like when we're doing the show, well, today we're doing something different. We're out at a home show in the Dallas area, and we got cameras set up, all this stuff. You can go to our website, thipro.com, and if you look at the home page there, you're going to see a broadcasting live thing. Hit that button. You'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing out here at the home show. So just a little FYI there. 713-212-5874. I was talking with Chris when we left, and Chris?
You still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yes, sir.
I forgot where we were now, to be honest with you.
Well, we were talking about the tenant letting go.
Yes.
I mean, and
yeah.
It cooled up. It probably stood a foot proud of the slab.
Yep.
Now, so anyway.
Technically, what should have happened before that hole got patched and everything, a cable company should have been called because they can put it back in, retension it, and keep that slab the way it is. Because back in the era when that one was built, they kind of got those cables a little far apart, and it's really not great not to have one in there. But it is patched up already, so I guess I would say leave it alone.
Right. Okay. Because I mean, it was because it's a condominium, so you've got multiple units.
Yep.
But each person owns their own unit, and they've got a homeowners association or something like that.
Yeah.
And
typically in a condominium,
just for my own edification.
Typically in a condominium like that, actually the homeowners association would have been responsible for repairing that cable and the foundation because they're typically the ones who are in charge of all that.
Okay. She took it to them, and they're like, "Oh," she said they were really interested, but they didn't know what it was, didn't know what to do about it. And,
yeah.
And I remember she sent me the picture of it, and I couldn't imagine. But what was amazing was the force at which it popped up out of the slab because cheap cabinet, base cabinet, particle board, but it like sliced right through the bottom plate of that cabinet. I was like, golly, and because she heard a loud pop and late in the evening, just boom, but she didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And until she opened the cabinet door some time later, and so anyway, but yeah, I cut the cable off below the slab because I said, well, I don't know that you could pull it back, and she called the original builder of the buildings. That she somehow got a hold of them. I forgot the name.
Wow.
It's one of the big builders, and they brushed her off and said it's too old. You're on your own. And so anyway, I wanted to confirm that that's what it was, and I knew that you own due west, and you would know. And I just keep meaning it's like I got to call Jim Dutton and ask. So that's what it is.
Well, sir, I appreciate it, and take care.
Thanks for the show, Jim. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Again, 713-212-5874.
We're going to head over to A-Leaf. And Raphael, this is Jim. How can I help you?
We have a wood cabinet, and am I able to mix? Hold on, get me the paper over there. Got the wrong paper. I wrote it down in the paper. I got two papers. Hold on.
That's okay.
It's right on the couch.
Sometimes I have the same problem. You get notes on multiple places, and then you start looking for that note and say, oh, no, it's not on this page. Got to grab the other book.
Right. Yeah, here it is. It's in the book. I ripped the wrong page up because I was going, okay, here it is. I'm going to paint the wood cabinet. So what's written down right there.
Okay.
I can explain it. My house, he's not doing very good. Okay, so I have we went to the store the other day with a handyman, and I have Behr premium wood stain, and I have wood cabinets, but they're old, so I was just going to sand them down, which I've already partly done, and then put this over it to make it look a little newer, and the color matches fairly well. So it's Behr, it says fast-drying water-based wood stain, and then on top of that, to make it give it a little shine, we got Behr fast-drying oil-based polyurethane semi-gloss.
Okay.
To put on top of that, and he was just wondering, of course, one is going to completely dry before I put the polyurethane thing to give it a little bit of a gloss. That would be completely dry already. Don't put tape on
But you have to make sure that those are compatible with each other, because sometimes
how do I know?
You're going to have to look at the cans and see if you can put it on over that, because some products, when you put it over an oil base over a water base, it'll peel off. It won't stick.
I'm going to write this down. Look at cans. And hold on, so I don't forget. I'm going to have the handyman do all this. What am I looking for on the can?
It'll be in the instructions on the can as far as where you can use it.
Uh-huh.
And if you got to make sure that it says it's okay to apply it over that water-based material.
Will you think it's going to say that to begin with?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the polyurethane, you think it'll say that?
It will say it that it is compatible.
I'm going to put you on hold because I got to take this quick break. Guardian Roof Systems, if you are looking for a roofing contractor to take care of any roofing issues you have, Guardian Roof Systems can absolutely help you out, whether it's a commercial or residential. Just a repair or a full replacement, Guardian Roof Systems has you covered. And look, with the high winds we get when hurricanes come, you really, if you're doing a new roof, need to take a look at a fortified roof. That's one that will withstand the winds because the shingles themselves are nailed more. But it goes beyond that. The felt paper is nailed down more. It goes beyond that. The plywood was nailed down more, and the joints on the plywood were sealed. It really does make a great roof. And why is that so important? Because you want to keep your possessions dry. Water does more damage than anything. Call Guardian Roof Systems, 281-407-7280.
Folks hire guys like us. Staining and sealing like a pro can be a real headache.
And they're right, unless they know our secret. We have a secret?
Oh, yeah. Ready Seal Stain and Sealer for Wood is the professional's product of choice. The one-of-a-kind formula means no laps, streaks, or back brushing required.
Hey, am I doing this right?
Doesn't matter, son. Stuff's goof-proof.
Ready Seal. Look for the goof-proof label and get it right on your first try.
Got any other secrets? Oh, we're just getting started.
Oh, sunburst shutters. I love my sunburst shutters. I've got them in my house. I've had them for 15, 16 years. I just had some more added to another place because they are so gorgeous and functional. They're made of polywood. I don't have to worry about them warping, cracking, chipping, peeling, none of that stuff. Sunburst shutters, call them 713-462-8800. When it comes to our homes, we like to believe that everything will take care of itself. Well, it doesn't. It does have to be maintained. And your plumbing system is one of the big systems that has to be maintained. Dripping faucets, water heaters, even the cast iron sewer lines underneath the home's foundation need to be replaced, repaired, or just plain maintained. That's why you need a plumbing company you can trust, and that's Due West Total Plumbing. You got a plumbing problem? Pick up the phone, give us a call, and let us take care of all your plumbing needs. West can take care of all your foundation needs. And foundation repair is caused by a lot of different things, but it always comes back to the moisture, whether it's getting too dry, too wet, whatever's going on. Due West can handle it for you. Preventative maintenance to full-blown repairs, lifting the house up out of floodwaters. 473-7156.
Jim Dutton.
Go. Let's all go. Welcome back to Texas Home Improvement, your total home improvement source.
713-212-5874. And the lady dropped off there, but look, if you're gonna do cabinets, you typically, if your cover coat's going to be oil based, you want to stick with oil base on everything. You don't typically mix water base and oil base materials together, whether they're dry or not, because they don't bond together and will tend to blister and peel. And that's the main reason I'm telling you. Now, there's some of them that will, and that's the reason you've got to look at the can and go through in details to make sure that it is compatible, because when it'll tell you on there, it'll say do not apply over water base or things like that. So always make sure you check the instructions first. With that, Diddy, this is Jim. How can I help you?
Hi, Jim. I have a question regarding some not so large mold containment. My parents' home, the upstairs bathroom had a leak in the gasket.
Okay.
That gasket leak caused like a small spot in their downstairs family room that we noticed of like a black, like 2 black circles that are the size of a dime and a little bit of discoloration that was brown. We like a contractor plumber that we really trust opened up the sheet wall, saw that there was water damage, confirmed it was the gasket leak upstairs.
I'm going to put you
and
on
then went
hold
through,
because I got to take a break for the news, traffic, weather, and I will come straight back to you after the break. Texas Remodel Team, you know,
If you're having to do some remodeling on your home and you live on the north side of of Houston, he doesn't go to Dallas, you need to call Texas Remodel Team, 281-399-4062. That's 281-399-4062 for Texas Remodel Team.
A lot of people have allergies, and you know, when somebody's building their house, typically builders aren't going to seal up the attic. So as the traditional insulation breaks down over time, it starts shedding fibers and creating dust. And what a lot of people fail to realize is that the attic is a primary source of dust and allergens coming into the home. So when we go in and we remove all of that old insulation, it now exposes the attic where we can come in and we can seal up the attic on all of the can lights, all of the air conditioning return vents, any holes that are drilled for wires or plumbing that come into the house, all of that gets sealed. And then when we put in Milo insulation or Milex, it's hypoallergenic. And with that, it dramatically improves the quality of the air inside the house. So not only is it a superior thermal performance, it's also helping with the air quality. And that's a huge benefit for those who actually have allergies and struggles with allergies. In fact, it's one of the more common reviews or testimonials that we receive from customers is what a difference they can tell in the indoor air quality. So when you look at Milex Thermal Max, if you understand the thermodynamics on how insulation works, it's easy to see why Milex is, without question, the insulation of the future.
We're out here today in Rocheron, Texas, putting a new roof on for one of our customers. You're gonna hear some nailing going on in the background. We're putting a fortified roof on today, and right now we've already got the roof torn off. We're about to go over here and show you guys the tape that we use to seal all the seams and all the decking to make sure that we keep the whole roof encapsulated to keep moisture out if something happens to the shingles. This homeowner didn't really have any storm damage on the house or on the property. What he was looking for is just a better roof system. When he called us, he asked for a hurricane-proof roof. Well, most people know in Texas it's hard to find something that's gonna be hurricane-proof. We found the next best thing. We found a fortified roof. That's what we pitched to him and we talked to him about it. Once we explained the system to him, he was really intrigued, and that's what we're doing out here today. Today we're putting on a Malarkey Class 4 impact rated shingle. This will have a full system all the way from synthetic underlayment up to upgraded ridge and lifetime boots. When we go up there after we finish nailing all the decking for the fortified roof system, we're going to put a polymer peel and stick product over all the seams. This is what encapsulates the roof deck to make sure no moisture gets in there if there's ever any damage to the shingle. One of the things we'll be doing along the edges is putting a peel and stick starter shingle. This will encapsulate the system, making sure no water can get in there, and our new shingles will come over on top and seal down nice and tight. It's funny how it's piqued everyone's interest in the neighborhood, saying, man, they're doing something different over there. What's going on over there? These guys have probably been watching. I mean, you see all the new roofs around here. All these homeowners have been watching the new roofs go on day after day. And so it stands out when they see something different. I've literally had homeowners call me after hurricanes saying, man, I sat up in my yard until I couldn't stand out there anymore, and I watched the neighbors' rooms just shingle come after shingle. I didn't lose a single one. I know why. I watched your guys put it on there, and they put 6 nails for every shingle. They hand drove them, and it made a difference. Why not minimize your risk? So anytime you do a house in windstorm, you've got some reinforced and additional building codes that we got to follow to make sure we're compliant with TDI. Part of that is additional nails per shingle. So normally you're going to put 4 nails per shingle. We're putting 6 nails. We hand nail everything out here in windstorm as well. It's just part of what we do. So building in windstorm is a little bit more of a process. It takes a little bit more time, but it's really going to be a more reinforced system that you're going to have on your property. We noticed a lot of roofs going up here in the neighborhood. You'll hear gun nails going in the background. You'll still see different applications. This isn't a windstorm area. We hand nail everything out here. It's just a more consistent way of attaching your nails on there, making sure nothing's overdriven, nothing's driven to the side. It's really secured properly. One of the things we also do is we also use a hot dip galvanized ring shank nail to make sure that it's corrosion resistant. Now this isn't something we just do in windstorm. It is required in windstorm. On some of that is required in windstorm. We do this on all roofs citywide just because it's a more enhanced system that's going to hold up better to wind. We've been doing that since we started the business.
Here's some stuff you need to know.
Okay, Jim. So you've gone from we were just talking, you've gone from a 3-tab to an architectural asphalt shingle to now I want to introduce you to the F-Wave Revia shingle. This is the one we're talking about. You know, they've come so far with plastics. I love them. It's got a little waffle back on it there. You get so thick on plastics, you want to get a little bit thinner and use this waffle as your
Well, it becomes real heavy if you get too thick.
Yeah, and very expensive.
Yeah.
This shingle right here has got a 5-year hail warranty, up to 2-inch hail. What we've got to do today is we have got a hail ball cannon.
Okay.
That if you would like to fire it, I want you to put some hail balls on the asphalt shingles and on a Revia shingle.
I would never turn down shooting anything.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like about doing tests like these, 1, I get to shoot a hail cannon. 2, we're actually shooting 2-inch ice balls faster than the test that they use to classify shingles.
Yeah, fire in the hole. Woo-hoo! Good grief. Look at that.
There, Jim.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is shot number 2. Shot number 2. Oh man, that got it. Yeah, you got it right there, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo. Look at that. All right, Jim, yeah, I mean, is that cool? So we kind of started right here, and that one, we found out, man, it's got a real, I mean, look, if I really push, look at that. I mean, it's all the way through that one. This one was kind of stood up with the hard board behind it, but there's still a big dent right here. And the next one we hit here, well, the next one you hit down low.
Right here.
And yeah, that one was there. This one was right down here, and you know what? Here's the other thing. There was a little bit of a dent right here. Now it's out, because this stuff kind of self-heals. I don't feel anyone there. What do you say we put that on your house?
Yeah, Mary likes that color too, so I guess we're done. Want more videos like these? Make sure to hit that subscribe button. It'll keep you informed.
Here's some stuff you need to know.
You know, I get a lot of calls on the radio show about barnuminiums. People think it's a great way to do an inexpensive house.
What they don't realize is there is some maintenance involved in owning a barnuminium or a metal building per se. But just because you're gonna build a metal building doesn't mean it has to stay looking like a metal building. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is a building that I just bought to move my Due West office into in the Dallas market. And it's a metal building. But with this brick veneer that's been added to the front of it, you can't tell. You can add windows and doors and everything to make it look like whether it's a business or a home. There's a lot you can do with metal buildings that really we just don't look at enough. You know, the concept of a barnuminium is great, but there is still maintenance you have to do. When you're dealing with the metal roof on a metal building, it's not fix and forget. You do have to do periodic maintenance like we're doing here, where we're first of all cleaning the roof, then we're going to have to retighten all the fasteners, seal up all the loose joints and stuff, fill them up with material to make sure we don't get water, and then we're going to coat the whole thing. By doing that, we're going to add years of life, but more importantly, we're not going to have leaks in the roof. So if you're thinking about a barnuminium because you want the flexibility of a gorgeous home to live in, but you need the warehouse space for your RV or working, take a look at a barnuminium. It's not totally maintenance free, but it's sure a heck a good way to go per square foot. Want more videos like these? Make sure to hit that subscribe button. It'll keep you informed.
If your garage is smiling, your beams are frowning. Southern Front Door, making first impressions every time. Guardian Roof Systems, residential and commercial roofing experts. Texas Remodel Team, James Hardy Siding, the best siding on the planet. And Southern Water Solutions, healthier, cleaner water. And now, broadcasting live from the Dutton Ranch, here's
Mike's Hut.
Dutton.
Hey, welcome back to Texas Home Improvement, your total home improvement source. 713-212-5874. That's 713-212-5874. Any home improvement question you have, feel free to pick up the phone, give me a call, and I'll see what I can do to help you out here on Texas Home Improvement. Also, don't forget about our website, thipro.com. It's there as a resource to help you out 24/7. Look, and there's all kinds of information there. Not only the links to the people you hear me talk about, but there's a lot of questions and answers and videos, copies of our TV show. There is copies of our newsletters that go out every other week that you can sign up for on the website. Right now, we've got a link where you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm at a home show, and we've been broadcasting it live. So you can go to thipro.com, scroll down, and be able to see what we do out at a home show. In case you just want to see what I look like, it gives you the opportunity. You're not going to miss anything if you don't look at what I look like, because there's pictures on the website as well. But it's just something we're trying out for some future events. We're going to be running this, you told me, till the bottom of the hour, right? 3:30. That's the bottom of the hour, 3:30. So at 3:30 we will cut that feed off, but you have till then. Just go to thipro.com and scroll on down. With that being said, let's head back to our calls. 713-212-5874. When we left, I was talking with Diddy. Diddy, I am sorry about that break, but go ahead, ma'am.
No problem. So to summarize, my parents' Missouri City home, the upstairs bathroom had a gasket leak.
Right.
We noticed like 2 dime-sized mold circles on the wall. In trying to mitigate how expensive professional mold remediation is, we called a contractor and plumber that we really trust. He removed the sheetrock, confirmed the leak was due to the gasket, scrubbed the wood, then applied bleach, and then there's a separate chemical that I had researched that's called Decon 30 that he sprayed. And then we let that be open with the family room sealed off in plastic for 7 days. And then my dad with a N95 then applied yesterday another chemical called mold control, just sprayed it. We picked it up at Southland Hardware. And then my dad was going to tomorrow use a moisture meter to make sure that the moisture is, however it's calibrated to say that it's kind of the dry amount. And then we were going to seal the sheetrock with that same person we trust on Monday. My question to you is, does that sound like the appropriate process, and what else would you recommend that we're still able to do to make sure that before we seal it up, we don't have a mold spore or something that will grow again?
Well, the first thing I will tell you is the only way mold can grow is if it has moisture. And so if you've got the moisture source taking care of the leak, you should be all right. It sounds like you went through everything in order to kill it off, get rid of it. And in order to open it up, I'm assuming you took out all the sheetrock that was wet and stuff, correct?
Correct.
And there was no insulation in there that's wet. So, yeah, I think you've done more than what needed to be done. I don't think you should have any issues at all, as long as you got the gasket sealed up now.
Great. And then just to and then is that moisture meter the right way to check to make sure the wood's really dry, or what's the way to make sure it dried out enough?
No, a moisture meter will tell you how much moisture's in it, and that'll give you yes, that it's truly dried out. So, a question I have for you: have you had the air conditioning running the whole time?
I think so, but nothing too crazy. I think the house stays at like 76 or something. Do you recommend turning that off for 24 hours or something?
No, because that will increase the moisture level, the humidity level in the house by shutting the air off. The air conditioner is a big dehumidifier, but
got it.
I was asking because the vents would still be going into that room. Was there return air in that room that you put all the plastic up going back to the unit, or is that in another area of the house?
I'm not the best at this question. There's one AC vent in that family room. I know that.
Okay.
And then there's the hole that is that has the sheetrock removed is about 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet. It's a square. And the AC vent that's in that room is about like 5-6 feet away from that on the wall. And then my parents have left like the door that connects it to the kitchen closed, and then the one that was open to the hallway when you walk in, they just kind of taped that up with that drop cloth plastic.
Okay.
So I don't know if that contributed to the humidity in that room, and they should remove that, or we just wanted to not have mold spread, so that's what we did. But
yeah, the only thing I'm asking on the AC is because if the AC system was running and there was mold in the house, it would have picked it up and circulated it around the house. Now, from what you described to me, to be honest with you, you went way overkill for anything that most people would have done. So I don't think you're going to have any issues. But what you really need to do in the long run, just to make sure that everything is okay, is have a mold test done. And you can pick up even I'm not sure they still have it, but I know they used to at Lowe's and Home Depot. They used to have a test kit where you got a Petri dish that you would leave out, send it in, and they would give you test results. Otherwise, there is a place in town. It's Woodlands Water Restoration. They can come and do a test for you, and that would tell you if you got a mold in the house or not.
Okay, so that's good to know for the future. And then the AC thing is also good to know. But probably since we treated it well right when we opened up the sheetrock,
I don't think you're going to have any issues.
Something from there circulated with both.
Yeah, I think. Right. I think one, your issue was so small that And once
Right.
you stop the water, you stop the mold anyway. So I think you should be just fine.
Okay, and then the way to make sure that the moisture is out of there is just to use the moisture meter, like
Yeah.
one that you can get from a hardware store.
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And again, 713-212-5874. Harmon, this is Jim. How can I help you?
Hi, Jim. We have a house in Humble that was built back in the 70s. And in the past month or so, a sinkhole has opened up in the side yard. It's about a foot across and several feet deep. And when I first noticed it, it was only about 6 to 8 inches deep. So I said, oh, well, I can fill that in. And I went and I got a bag of gravel, and I went over and filled it in with the bag of gravel. And it has sunk down another 10 inches or so. It does not seem to be associated with any plumbing or utilities that are going into the house. And I was wondering who I should talk to have come out and look at it and see what the next steps are.
So is it on an easement by chance?
What do you mean the easement?
Almost all the lots have an easement where utilities can run through, not just for your house, but like it'll run either like across the backyard or something where everybody's drain lines will run to it, sewer lines, or water for storm drains and things like that.
I don't think so. I know where the sewer line runs across in the backyard, and the various television cables and things run across. And I have had, I called up and had the utilities come out and check to see where they are, and none of them seem to be anywhere close.
Right. The only one I would be concerned with would be if there was a storm water line. That would be like where the out in the road, where the water drains off the road into the catch basin. The pipe that takes that water out.
Yeah, I don't think that's anywhere close either.
Okay. So if you don't have anything like that, you can have a sinkhole started. Extremely rare, but as we've been seeing on the news, the darn things are happening.
Yeah. I was just thinking that, the house has been there since the 70s, and I would have thought that most stuff that had settled would have already settled by now.
Yeah, it's not going to be just it's not going to be just settlement. I mean, there's either got to be a pipe down there that is taking away the soil, or something like that for it to be happening.
So who should I call to have them come out and look at this?
And how deep did you say it is right now?
It's a couple of feet deep.
Okay. Are you in
Humble
city limits?
No.
Okay, so you're out in the county?
Yeah, I'm out off of Kenswick and 1960.
Okay. Because that makes it even harder, because if you're in city limits, I would tell you to call the storm drain people and have them come out and double check, since you've already called utilities. But I am 99% sure that you're going to have a pipe down there of some kind that has water go through it. And it's going to be either sewer water or storm water that's taking soil away. Because if it was
I know where the main sewer is, and I know where the main sewer is, and that's in the backyard, nowhere close.
Yeah. And is this running? Where is it at in your yard?
It's on the east side, about 5 feet away from the house.
Is that 5 feet from the side of the house?
5 feet from the side of the house, correct.
Okay. And pretty close to the fence line then?
Correct.
Your sewer line may be in the back, but I will bet you there's an easement that runs up along where that fence is. There's a pipe in there that's got a hole in it.
Okay, who should I have, call to have them come out and look at it?
Whoever handles the storm sewer pipes. You got stormwater pipes and you got sewer pipes. And whoever handles those for your area is who you need to contact, because it's going to be one of those two. And chances are good.
Okay.
It's not going to be the sewer. Chances are real good it's going to be stormwater.
Storm sewer.
Yeah, stormwater.
Yeah, that's about the only thing left to check about.
Yeah. And what happens is, they got to run the water somewhere, and they're able to take it between the houses that way, and they use concrete pipes. And when the joints in the concrete pipe starts leaking or something, it'll start letting water take soil out and create these problems.
Right.
A break.
We had that problem with our regular sewer in the backyard, and had that all dug up, and that was the problem with that. But that.
Yep. Get ready. You're getting ready to have it done again.
Oh, thanks. Okay, I will track those down and call them.
All right. You take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye. 713-212-5874. Look, if you have a need for shutters in any room of your house, you need to take a look at Sunburst Shutters, because not only are these things gorgeous, I mean, they're plantation-style shutters, beautiful white shutters. They accent any room, but they're made of polywood, which is guaranteed to never warp, crack, chip, or peel, and they'll have one of their design consultants come out to make sure you get that perfect look and fit for your home. Call Sunburst Shutters today at 713-462-8800. That's 713-462-8800. Got diagonal cracks in your walls, or it could be a foundation problem? Call Due West Foundation Repair, keeping homes in Texas on a solid foundation since 1978. 713-473-7156, du-west.com. Southern Water Solutions. Our water ain't what it used to be, and we got to get it to where we can drink it. Well, that's where Southern Water Solutions comes in. They're going to come in, they're going to test your water, make sure they get all the chemicals and stuff out of it for you through filtration, through water softeners, through reverse osmosis, whatever it takes to get you clean, healthy water. That's Southern Water Solutions, 832-593-3993.
Put an end with USA Insulation, a non-expansive wall foam insulation designed for existing homes. Call 409-316-9957 or go to thipro.com and find out more.
There's hundreds and hundreds of air conditioning companies in the Houston area. So how do you know you can trust one? Well, you call my company, Due West Air Conditioning. You trust me to call with your questions? Why not let my technicians come out and show you what great air conditioning service means? It means taking care of your system as though it was their own. It means if you have an issue with it, showing you what it's going to take to fix that unit. And, if it's a high dollar repair and an older system, give you the option for a new system, but never telling you you have to get a new system. You should always be able to look at the cost of repair versus replace. And of course, if somebody's going to give you a price for a new system, they better be doing a load calculation to make sure that system is sized properly. When you want the best, call Due West at 713-473-7156.
Hey, it's Ramon. Clear. Neighbors. And at Republic Grain Ranch, you get to pick yours. Right now, a limited batch of combo lots just
Stuff
opened.
you need
2
to
to
know.
10 acres,
I'm Jason
side by side
with
with great
DFW
fronts,
Improved.
high
I'm going to show you the easy way to cut crown. A lot of people like to lay the crown flat. You end up beveling your saw this way, you turn it this way. Gets really confusing. Here's some stuff you need to know. I'm Jason with DFW Improved, and I'm going to show you the easy way to cut crown. A lot of people like to lay the crown flat. You end up beveling your saw this way, you turn it this way. Gets really confusing. Gets a lot of pain in the butt to do it. Easy way to do it is, let me get this squared up real quick. You imagine the bottom of your saw here as the ceiling. This rail here as your wall. So you actually end up cutting your crown upside down and backwards. So my first piece of crown is 12 inches. Make that long. And then I roll it to where it's going to sit on the wall. Just like that. Nice and tight on that wall, nice and tight on the ceiling right there. And you just bring the saw down, and you got your piece of crown. It'll sit like that.
Hey, for more quick tips like these, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can get there by going to thipro.com.
And it's definitely too dark from what we were wanting. Is there anything I could put on there to kind of lighten it up or to get it off all completely to match the rest of the backyard?
Not seeing it, I can't say for sure. But if it's something that was put on the surface, it would be able to be grinded off using a concrete grinder. But then that's gonna make your surface real smooth. And what you would end up with then, and I don't know if you want this or not, but like the rocks that are into the concrete, when you grind it down, it'll start showing those and polish them. Personally, I love the look of it, but it may not match everything else that you have.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, and they also got it kind of on the split face too. So what do you suggest for that? Is there a chemical to kind of take it off? They just did a horrible job, and the guys, I never heard back from them, and I'm kind of just stuck at a bad part of the backyard compared to the rest of it. It looks great with the swimming pool and the split face and stuff like that. But yeah, they got it on the stain on the side of the split face of the barbecue pit too. So is there any suggestion for that?
Not a one. Because no, I don't know of any chemical that's going to take that stuff off that won't just destroy everything else as well.
Well, okay. Well, that's definitely not what the wife's going to want to hear, but I'll definitely relay the
better you get to give her the
like
news than me then.
Exactly. So, all right, is there any companies that you know that kind of redo those patios too? Because we also had on the patio too, it was already painted and an epoxy on top, and they kind of screwed that up too. Does there a company you suggest that can come out there and look at it and maybe fix it all?
Let me think about that through this news break, and I'll say something when we come back, okay?
Sounds good, thanks.
Thank you. Hey, let's talk real quick about James Hardie Siding, the best siding on the market. If you are looking for siding for your home, James Hardie Siding is exactly what I put up. If you're looking for siding for the business, I'd use James Hardie Siding for that as well. You can't find a prettier, more durable siding. It's James Hardie Siding.
We know.
Whether you build homes for a living or want the best for your own home, choose siding you're proud to stand by. Hardie Siding is ready to withstand storms, holds its own against heavy winds and debris, and even helps homes stand up to fire, leaving a lasting impression. James Hardie, what the best are made of.
So let's talk about the remodeling nowadays, because it used to be people thought when they went in and upgraded their kitchen or upgraded the bathroom, they were doing a major remodel, and nowadays that's almost become a minor remodel.
Oh yeah. No, the days of a straightforward take everything out, put it back in, just new and fresh. Those seem to be long gone. I mean, it's just about every project we do that we're getting out the jackhammers, and we're relocating plumbing, we're removing walls, we're installing beams, we're opening up floor plans, we're really rearranging the house, not just giving it a little facelift.
So when you guys come out, I mean, somebody calls you, you guys go out, you sit down with the people and start getting an idea of what they want. One of the things that you guys did that I just find cool as heck is you were able to go in and do it into a 3D rendering where somebody could literally walk through their house.
Absolutely. Everything is so visual these days.
Yes.
It's hard to really gain an accurate vision of what's going to happen just by reading words on a page. That's why we have a full architectural team on staff. We've got a draftsman that will draw a formidable set of plans that we need to execute these projects and apply for permits. But the program also allows us to generate a 3D rendering that allows us to walk through it almost like a point of view video game. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And the level of detail that goes into those renderings it's shockingly good.
Yes.
It's hard to distinguish between the generated rendering and a real photo. It really is.
Well, when I was over at your guys' office, they didn't let me play with that near as long as I wanted to. That was really cutting edge stuff back in the day, and even today, most remodelers don't use that technology.
Yeah. And it's surprisingly accessible too. I've been very impressed with some of our clients that come to us with these renderings. They're utilizing large language models and AI to take a picture of their house and then use it to change the colors or add tile or add windows, move walls, things like that. So the clients are embracing this technology as well.